4 straight weeks, we've had a sellout crowd. This place is awesome. The atmosphere is electric. Denny Hamlin, the all-time wins leader here on the pole. He takes the outside lane. To his left, the reigning champ. We are green in the Poconos.
Big move by Reddick around the top. He's going to grab a few rows, get on the outside of this 12-car Blaney, stays out of the outside wall down the back straightaway. He must have picked up 4 or 5 spots right there, just taking that third groove around the top. Trying to get more here, going 3 wide into the tunnel turn around the outside of Byron.
And I don't think Byron knew he was there. We'll see if they get it cleaned out. Reddick will choose the lift, get back in line. Up front, we have the 7 to the outside of Hamlin. Hamlin almost just protecting the bottom, allowing the 7 to have that top line into that flat turn 3 that Trevor talked about in the pre-race.
Make note of this, Larson inside lane gets the race lead lap 1.
Yeah, absolutely good organization on that inside lane. I think Denny's gonna lose second place right here to Suarez. Suarez using the momentum around the top. He's still side by side right here down into turn 1 and 2.
Briscoe out of line. Racing his teammate Ty Gibbs, 19 and 54, racing for 4th.
We saw yesterday in the O'Reilly race a turn 1 accident. You see the difference between a Saturday and a Sunday. So much experience that everyone tiptoed. Maybe not Reddick, who was 3 wide around the top, but the rest of the field kind of organizing it. As I say that, we have that blue car jump out line. I think it was Blaney.
This battle for second still raging, guys. Pretty interesting to see Denny on the inside here fighting for this. Down into turn 3 again. Suarez on the top of the racetrack. A little bit of resin in this second groove, still there from years ago. They applied that resin several years ago. Still giving a little bit of grip to that outside line. That's why Suarez is able to stay up there. He's going to finally possibly make the pass to open. Then he's going to try to side draft some more.
This place will tease you, right? Just when you think someone's got it, the rally comes from the other lane. Briscoe does get by Gibbs, and now Hamlin up to second.
Oh, man. Suarez right across the nose of the 19. Briscoe has to get up the racetrack to find some grip. Denny didn't want to give that spot up. Really interesting to see him continue to side draft, continue to fight, take his time, take a measured approach to be able to take that second spot. He's got clean air. Be interesting to see if he can drive and run down that 5 car out in the lead.
Look back behind him. Reddick went from 16th to 10th. You guys talked about his advancement on the opening lap, but now going to lose that final spot in the top 10 maybe. Ryan Blaney there in the 12. 3 wide off of turn 3. They're getting after it early here.
I like the 41's decision. I don't mind the second lane, but the third lane definitely can give you a big trouble on exit. He got in line, and because of that, he's actually going to go back on the offense. You see him now in line, moving forward as we see now the 54 and the 19 side by side for 4th. Oh, I love what Briscoe did right there. He just rolled the middle and really committed to the gas. See if the momentum's enough. It is. This whole track, we talk about 3 distinct corners as we ride on board with Gibbs on the Monster Energy. As we head into the tunnel, this is what I talked about, that kind of very narrow entry, picks up the gas, but it's kind of like corner, momentum down the straightaway. Corner, momentum down the straightaway. It's all about when you get offline, can you recover or are you going to lose positions?
Monster Energy onboard camera.
Hear him get tight right there, guys. Watch the 19 drive away just a little bit tight to the center of the corner there. That turn 3 is the most important corner because it leads onto this long straightaway. If you get off that corner poorly, you could be, in a bad spot here with cars catching you down this straightaway into turn 1.
Something else to watch, Steve, and we saw this yesterday in the O'Reilly race, I saw a lot of debris floating around on the front straightaway. You get that on the grill, I mean, what does that do to challenge you?
So the Cup car is not as sensitive as the O'Reilly cars. Their grill openings that you see are actually basically wide open. It'll go up in there, and as we ride on board with Cindric on the Ford camera. So these cars, surprisingly enough, the debris shouldn't overheat. Now, it can get in a position where it starves the engine for a little air and start to hurt power, but unfortunately, we'll kind of never know because it's underneath the hood, kind of out of sight. Trying to get a little organized here. I believe that's a 16 of AJ Allmendinger out of line.
Yeah, the 41 of Cole Custer trying to fight for another spot here. 16 might be able to get in there, clear him right there off of turn 3. Christopher Bell right behind these two, trying to carry momentum down the straightaway, maybe try to put a pass together on Cole Custer here on the entrance to turn 1.
Out of line, top of your screen, that Castro Ford up a bunch of spots as Bell pulls out of line. Brad doing a nice job up 8 spots.
Yeah, nice to be +8 coming from the back. Brad told us on NASCAR Live this has been a good track for us, and the only one better in that category was Hosevart +9. Now Bubba Wallace +10. Another driver coming from the back crashed yesterday in qualifying, and Steve, we were like, oh, probably a backup car. Not the case. They repaired the primary with those changes. He still comes from the rear.
Yeah, I wasn't even probably. I just assumed it was a backup. Huge damage for the 23. It's really remarkable how kind of these cars can be repaired, how modular they are. You can unbolt the front nose, unbolt the front clip, change the parts as needed with confidence. Here's Brad right there, that blue and green car right behind the 23 of Bubba. And I think the experience between these two, remember they started together on the front row. So while they're racing each other, I talked about the momentum. So we're gonna see if Bubba pulls out of line, does Brad kind of push him through instead of trying to attack the 23. So you see the 23 up the racetrack a little bit. He'll see if he can get to the outside of the 3, probably not, but he might have momentum off the top. If he pulls down low, maybe the 6 tries to go with him. Back a row, the 60 of Priest, another RFK Ford. Oh, SVG likes that 3-wide thought.
Yeah, he's going to stick it down in there in the tunnel turn, try to get that spot away. SVG's going to have a nose ahead there.
Kyle Larson leads as we work lap 8. We remember Kyle Busch. The track really has done a great job here recognizing and remembering Kyle Busch, NASCAR Live, and Danielle did such a wonderful job of telling that story as well. And it's a good time every week when we go silent at lap 8. Let's get an update from the pit lane. Here's Marty Snyder.
Denny Hamlin started on the pole, Adam, and then had that terrific battle with Daniel Suarez to hang on to the 2nd position. Once that settled out, Hamlin did want to tell Chris Lambert, his spotter, a message. Here was that message.
Till the 5, it's not a big deal, but he did run me out of room there, too.
That was on the initial start of the race. So, Dale, if it wasn't a big deal to Denny Hamlin, why did he want to relay that message to Kyle Larson to say, hey, you ran me out of the room on the start of the race?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to send a message that, you know, for the rest of the race, if they're going to be racing each other, looking at the 5 car, he's going to be up there with Denny most of the day if they don't have any trouble. He wants a little more consideration on restarts. I'm sure, you know, when we get to the final few restarts, Marty, all that's off the table, and Denny knows that, but he's just saying, hey, it's early in the race, no need to be aggressive. These two guys have had some run-ins here, you know, at this racetrack, so maybe that's still fresh on their mind as well.
Toyota onboard camera riding with Denny. You know, I think he's ahead of the game. Last couple weeks started on the pole. He was already in the back. Today, 8 laps in, he's riding 2nd. Back live at Pocono. Aerial coverage today brought to you by Goodyear, born on the track, built for the street. Closing on the midway point, stage number 1. Kyle Larson continues to lead, just over 2 seconds in front of Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, last couple laps, they've kind of been trading the fastest lap between these two cars, and it's hard to tell really. You know, Denny's probably not pushing his car really hard. I'm not sure about Larson, but Denny and all these guys are going to run conservatively, probably trying to save a little fuel, lifting a little bit early for the corners. So it's really hard to handicap who's got the best car right here. But we talked about the 5 car at the start of the show and how they've gained speed. And both of you and I both talked to the crew chief over the course of the weekend, and it's been impressive how the advantage to the Toyotas has started to dwindle just a little bit over the last 4 or 5 weeks when you're talking about the Chevrolets, namely this 5 car.
Yeah, let's take a look. You mentioned how the 11 is driving. On the bottom left, you're going to see 4th gear. This is a track we've consistently shifted at for years, so in this car as well, we're going to see an upshift to 5th right about the start-finish. There you go. Now 5th gear. You'll see over 200 if you're tight in a draft, kind of by yourself, maybe low 190s. That's just how draggy this car is. Downshift into 4th gear, some brake. We talked about the brakes into turn 1, what it can do. A little bit playing with the throttle right here. He'll go to 5th. Now in practice, I saw a lot of cars run 5th gear all the way through the tunnel. We'll see if Denny decides to downshift or if he'll stay in 5th through the tunnel. He stays in 5th all the way through the tunnel. Minimum speed still in the high 150s. It probably makes sense to just stay there. And there's a little cat and mouse game between the 5 and the 11 right now, because as you mentioned, not only are you trying to save a little gas, but you know, with 15 laps to go in the stage, the other goal is this track, much like the road courses, you can pit and not lose a lap if you're close enough to the leader. Well, here at Pocono, it's about 15 seconds back. So what these two are trying to do, because they want to stay out, win the stage, get all these stage points, and everybody that pits before the end of the stage will just jump over them. So they're trying to gap those guys. Currently, AJ Allmendinger and Hocevar back in 17th and 18th, they're kind of at that threshold where they couldn't pit without losing a lap. The 5 and the 11 are just trying to gap that as best as they can, run as fast as they can.
The 5 is not running as fast as Denny over the last couple of laps. Denny was 3/10 quicker the lap before, 1/10 quicker this lap. And this is what we've seen out of the 11 car. Not the quickest car firing off after restarts or on new tires, but boy, when we get into lap 5, 10, 15, he just excels above all of the competition, even the other Toyotas who have strong race cars. The long run speed in this 11 car over the last 3 or 4 weeks has just been tremendous, and nobody has yet to replicate it.
Think about last week in that final run of the race. I mean, it was remarkable what they did to come back and dominate at the end when you consider how the day began and what transpired through the first half. Let's now get drivers talking about the tunnel turn here at Pocono.
For me personally, what makes the tunnel turn so difficult is the fact that it's kind of a blind corner.
It's really narrow, so it's kind of this like game of chicken getting down into there of who's going to lift.
I feel like now like the groove has widened out. Before, you really want to just fight for the bottom, and if you miss that, you were in trouble.
It's a really fast corner, so you don't spend much time in it, but you have to carry a lot of speed, and it's really bumpy.
Brutally aggressive bumps right down there by the apron, and it's not just one.
It's a corner that you have to have the guts to carry the most speed you can, but also hitting your mark.
I love all the different descriptions, and I love that shot watching the cars go through there. You can really see the bumps, and you can also see the cars that I think by choice are running a few feet higher. Seems like you only have to go up maybe 3 or 4 feet, as Bubba was talking about the multiple grooves. Going up a couple feet has made that corner a little smoother.
I talked to a few crew chiefs this morning about how do you manage that part of the racetrack. Do you set the car up to drive through there or drive around it? You know, they all said, ultimately we needed to do both, right? Because you have to have those options at this place.
See, Ty Gibbs has passed the 19 of Briscoe, driven up to the back bumper of Suarez for 3rd. This is the rest of the top 10 cruising through as we look at the bumps in the tunnel turn. Back on board with Ty Gibbs and the Monster Energy onboard camera. Up a groove here to try to get some clean air underneath that car. Trying to get the run off of turn 3, create some momentum.
Lead 2 in turn 1. Able to get a little bit of run down the short chute from that.
Ask and he shall deliver. Run lane 2 to see if you get a little run down the short chute. Just like that, Ty Gibbs runs lane 2.
Well, he wants to get all the air underneath that car to get air to the diffuser to create downforce and grip. So going to offset a little bit to whatever the 7 car does, except for through the tunnel. You really don't have that opportunity to run multiple lines through this turn. You try everything you can to maintain what you have through that corner, not lose distance to the 7, so you might be able to challenge down in turn 3. The 7's going to run the top now. So he saw the 54 do that in lap 4. Now Suarez is going to take that groove away. Look at Suarez, a little bobble right there, can't get to the throttle. Gibbs saw that, he's like, oh man, got a little bit of a run here, not going to be able to do anything with it. But Suarez is the new Ryan Newman. He's the guy that's going to take your line away. He's going to do whatever he can to make this pass as hard as possible. Gibbs is going to go by, looks like, yep, going to clear off 2.
Well, that was snug, it appeared to me, coming off the corner.
Gibbs gives him a wave of thanks, not making that too difficult.
And it's better for both of them to just let it happen. You know, Suarez gets side drafting when he drags the 2 of them back. They're just losing time together to the lead. With 10 to go in the stage, you just want to try to stay as close to the lead as you can.
Top 5 as we go to break. Larson, Hamlin, Gibbs, Suarez, and Briscoe. So the last time we came back from side by side, I said Kyle Larson is leading and the advantage was like 2.2 seconds. And now we go on board with Denny Hamlin, and he is right there with the 5 coming off the corner.
Yeah, Larson's balance starting to become a challenge for him as Denny Hamlin's car continues to handle the way he needs it. Right here through the tunnel, though, Denny can't seem to, look at there, he gets tight right there. That's the part that he wishes he could do better. When he goes over there, those bumps, the 5 can get to the throttle sooner and kind of get away just a little bit before they get to turn 3 here.
I really want to see this top speed on the 11 as he runs the top lane. He's going to gas it up. We saw about 190 by himself. I think this car is very draggy. Watch what the draft does right here. I imagine the last third of this straightaway, we're going to climb right through 190. I bet we could see 200. Let's see what kind of run he has. 195, so higher than he was by himself, but maybe just wasn't close enough or a little bit too old on tires as he's searching around as well. I will say with 6 to go in this stage, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right?
Well, wait a minute. We got a lap car right here in front of the 5.
Oh.
That could become a challenge for this 5 car. This could present an opportunity for Denny. The 5's tight, aero balance. If he has to get in the wake of this lap car down here in turn 3, that's Casey Mears in the 62. That might present the 11 an opportunity to get side by side with Larson. Let's see what happens. Larson's got to go to the top of the track to stay out of the dirty air of the 62. Denny's going to go to the bottom. Now the 62 is going to slow down to 5. Here we are, side by side for the lead.
And listen to the crowd, sold out here.
Denny's going to clear.
Denny Hamlin back to the lead.
Clear, clear, clear.
Say back to the lead, started on the pole, and he's leading for the first time today after Larson got the early advantage, 11 on point, getting it done late in the stage.
Larson just doesn't have the turn he needs to kind of take the fight back to him there on the inside of turn 1. Kim.
And here's the 48 of Alex Bowman. They were right at the threshold of being able to pit under green, a little more than 15 seconds back from the leader. Brakes feel a little soft. Team isn't concerned. Thinks they'll be good once it heats up. They did an air pressure adjustment on that stop.
So Kim was talking about that 15 seconds. So as we see the leaders through turn 3, the 48 is going to be leaving pit road. We see right now crew chief of the 5. I saw a hand out the window. The 5 might be pitting. If not this time, I do believe he's going to pit. Let's just see how far the 48 comes out in front of these leaders. Now the concern is, even though the 48 has new tires, these old tires don't slow down a whole lot. So he's going to have to stay in front of these leaders for these final 4 laps. I would be shocked if Hamlin doesn't take the 10 points for winning the stage. But I've been shocked before. The whole top 10 are going to have to make a decision.
We'll get a lap
45 now on pit road, so he showed his hand. He's going to come down, service of his team. Trevor.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick made up 7 spots early on that first restart, but then faded back a couple of those Legacy Motor Club cars. He's been fighting a tight balance as well today. You'll see 4 tires and fuel go on this 45 to jump the stage.
All right, risk versus reward. So if you're Chris Gale right now, and you're a crew chief of the 11, you know you want those 10 points, but everybody that's been on pit road will not pit at the end of the stage. So every one of these cars are a position you're going to lose. How much do you dare give up? And if you're the 5 or the 54 or the 19 that are also running inside the top 5, how important are points to you at this point in the season? You're going to see top of your screen, upper right, we saw the bright yellow 2 of Cindric come to pit road, Blaney on pit road. There's Blaney in that 12, the Ryan Newman car. Kim.
Yeah, and for Blaney, he said definitely tight here, mostly in traffic. Neutral, though, through the tunnel, which is a good sign for him.
'42 of John Hunter Nemechek, fighting a little bit free off of turn 3 on that right rear. A little bit too hard. We know how long that corner is and how easy it is to break these next-gen cars loose. Kim.
You see the racing right here between Byron and the 43. The leader will close pit road this time by, which means that he'll have the opportunity to pit if he so chooses. He stayed, all right, there you go, stayed on the racetrack. So pit road's closed. So everybody who has pitted, that's it. That's everyone else. Now it's just a battle for points. So this position you see right now between Byron, Jones, Suarez, every position's a point.
Well, think too, I mean, I just go right there, 7th, 8th, and 9th in the running order, and where they are when you think about the chase standings. You know, Jones with that runner-up finish last week, only 18 below the cut line. Logano only a few points out. Byron's been bouncing around 10th, 11th, 12th. They all need him, and they're all going to get some here. And Hamlin in position to win the stage and get 10 more after coming in 51 points behind Tyler Reddick. One to go in the stage, presented by Credit One Bank. Hamlin 2 seconds in front of Kyle Larson.
Last couple of laps, he's been almost 6 tenths faster than Larson, 6 tenths faster than his teammate Ty Gibbs. Denny running 54 flats. The rest of the field, 54 sevens and slower. Chris Buescher back there with a 54.5, the only car really within a half a second of Denny Hamlin right now. A half a second. It's amazing how fast this 11 car is. Deep into these runs, we see it every single week. This is the big advantage that this number 11 has, and they seem to get better with every stage.
Yeah, they know how to stay in front of the adjustments, and you called it perfectly. He was so patient, let that Casey Mears lap car kind of check up the 5, capitalized.
The points are piling up for Denny Hamlin. This is his 5th stage win of 2026. That leads all drivers. Larson, who came in scoring more stage points than anyone on the season, finishes 2nd. And a whole host of drivers behind him that need points. Ty Gibbs, top 5. Briscoe needs points. He gets 7 here. We talk about Buescher. Suarez in 6th. He's been getting a bunch of stage points in recent weeks. We talked about Byron, Jones, Logano, and a great run for Austin Hill in the 33. Takes advantage of the strategy of others and finishes inside the top 10 in stage 1. Hamlin in charge so far here at Pocono. Glad you're with us. It's NASCAR on Prime. NASCAR on Prime is presented by Metabo. Get to it with Metabo HPT Power Tools. Make, move, go. And by Aspen Dental. Visit aspendental.com. Get smiling today. And now our relief lap, sponsored by National Debt Relief. Getting out of debt is easier when you have all of us behind you. Casey Mears had fallen behind, but he's back on the lead lap now.
Casey was involved in the lead change as a lap car going a lap down. Doesn't have a lot of experience in the next gen. He's on the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3 and 4, and he drives up off the racetrack, he drives up off the corner to the outside line, traditionally like you would, right? But he wouldn't know that that's going to drastically affect the handling on the 5 car as he goes in front of Larson, and Larson becomes a car in his wake, and Larson wasn't able to finish the throttle on corner exit, had to get out of the gas actually, and that allowed Denny to make that run and make the pass.
So many small, subtle things go into your success over the course of the day. And remind everyone, when we come down to pit road here, the 5 of Kyle Larson had some inspection issues. So he got his pit stall assigned, right? So this right here is the 5's pit box, right? And in front of him is the 51. So he didn't get to pick this stall because he had those inspection issues. He's now pitting behind the 51. Why this matters is the 51 is nearly the last car in the lead lap. So he should be coming around the 5 at about the time the 5 is leading. So crew chief for the 5, Cliff Daniels. You talk about the small little nuance. This is Cliff looking over to the pit box of the 51. To be very close. Me leaving. Can I go? Are you going to free clear me? Yup, he gets kind of a clear. So now he knows. We saw that wreck with the 54 just a week or two ago, leaving pit road, having contact. Now Larson knows if it's the 51 coming in, he's already like pre-cleared the airspace. He knows the 51's going to check up and allow the 5 to leave. 2 Chevrolets working together. Leadership by Cliff Daniels, making sure every stone is turned over, leaving nothing to risk.
We said it off the top. Devil's in the details. Got to do all the little things. They're heading your way, Kim.
That's right. Ty Gibbs will pit from P3. The last couple laps under green. Crew chief Tyler Allen telling him, we're not going to catch the leader, so save from some fuel for this stop. They're going to take 4, go in the jack. The balance pretty good. Just got a little free there at the end, Trevor.
Yeah, Kyle Larson coming into his stall, lost that lead from a tight race car. They're going to make some changes for the tunnel turn. Ride quality's great on this car. Kyle Larson asking what color car to look for as the set 51 comes around him, Marty.
4th in stage 1 for Chase Briscoe. He said he was too free on the exit of 1 and the exit of 3. That's where he was really losing his time. Trademark 11 team in that stage 1 with that long run pace. Denny Hamlin said, I started a little bit too free, but I did certainly like our car at the very end of that run.
One driver completely missing inside the top 5. A car I thought did a nice job of saving gas and was putting him in the right position was the 54 of Ty Gibbs. Watch the right side, pretty clean. Bobble on the right rear, jack drop, no dice. The car must be in the air for the wheel to be tightened. They come back, they tighten up the right rear. At this point, damage is done. So they actually go back and make an adjustment knowing they're going to be in traffic, but long stop for Ty Gibbs.
Let's get into our stage break, brought to you by Snapdragon. Danielle Trotta alongside driver Corey LaJoie, driver of the 11. Denny Hamlin winning the first stage. And man, was he gapping the field there in the final laps of stage 1 by 0.7 of a second. 3 of the 4 Gibbs cars finishing stage 1 inside the top 5. So we're seeing those Gibbs Toyotas have blistering speed once again this week, Corey. But with Denny specifically, what is he doing so well?
Well, we noticed that the tire fall off of these right side tires was going to be a little bit more than what we had seen in the previous years, and the 11 car only fell off 5 or 6 tenths, where meanwhile the field, be it the 5 guys outside the top 5, were falling off over a second. So Denny's able to his car is so comfortable, he has so much confidence here at Pocono. He's able to reshape his corners, but not just back the corner up when it goes slower. He's still driving it in the corner hard, pushing those Goodyear Eagles into the racetrack to make the grip that this car wants to make. So it's not anybody's game. It's the 11's race to lose right now, and he's restarting right outside the guys that flipped this stage, so we're going to see how fast he can get back to the front.
There were 6 drivers who did flip the stage. John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Reddick, Zane Smith, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman. What do you make of this strategy? You like it?
I love the move, one, because you are still in a position close enough in relevance to the leader, be the 11, to be able to do this. So you're going to see guys like Reddick, guys like Ryan Blaney and Zane Smith to then retain that track position, to get themselves some stage points here in stage 2. I love the move of flipping the stage here.
Reddick wants to get some of those stage points here to keep that battle tight in points with Denny Hamlin. Our guy, Brad Keselowski, guest analyst this week, coming back for the post-race show. He started tail end Charlie. He's making up a lot of ground in that number 6 Ford. Finished stage 1 24th, now running 29th. Let's send it back upstairs to the booth for the start of stage 2 with Adam Alexander.
All right, thank you, Danielle. And you guys talked about those drivers flipping the stage. So the race off pit road, sponsored by Goodyear, was actually for 7th in the running order. Denny Hamlin going to choose the outside lane here. And on the front row, it's going to be John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Reddick. Opportunity for the 45 maybe to take some charge of this field.
Well, remember, we talked to the spotter from the 23 earlier today, and he talked about how difficult it was to spot down into turn 1. Well, now those cars like the 5 and the 11, they are going to be right in the mess.
Dangerous part of running it long.
Ready, green.
Stage 2, green at Pocono.
Really starts getting more and more aggressive. See Riley Herbst jumping out there, making it 3 wide. He's got Christopher Bell pushing him. Chase is going to block that.
Suarez getting aggressive.
Yeah.
3 wide inside. William Byron there. Chase Briscoe a part of that mix.
Yep, Eric Jones on the outside. He's going to let Byron clear. A 19 just to the outside of the 5 of Larson. That was a big move. That's going to cost Larson a lot of momentum down this short chute. He's losing multiple spots. Still
side for the lead.
Yes,
Reddick
sir.
outside of Nemechek. Right behind them, Zane Smith, another one of those drivers that flipped the stage.
Nemechek's like, man, if I could just get the lead. Just want that clean air. But Reddick's on the outside fighting, going to stay right there on the quarter panel. He's going to have him down the front straightaway. John Hunter's going to try to slow him down a little bit right here. They're going to run and chase each other across the racetrack, trying to get into the side draft, trying to keep that side draft going. Reddick buries it down into turn 1. Backs up the center of the corner, allows the 42 of John Hunter to get back to his door. John Hunter better side draft a little bit here. Here comes Zane Smith. Who's he going to help? He's going to lift early here. Try to get a run on these guys coming off of this short chute. The 38 could have an opportunity to go 3 wide here. Not quite enough momentum. Oh, just about. He thought about it. Just a little bit too late down into turn 3. Around the outside, here comes the 12 of Blaney to the right rear quarter panel of the 38. The battle for the lead still rages. Side by side for 3rd.
Top 4, those guys that flipped the stage. Right behind him, Denny Hamlin, who made that pit stop after winning stage number 1. He's right there. Look at Blaney. A little crossover looking inside of those 2 Toyotas out front.
Now Zane back to the outside. Sort of the same thing that Zane did, Blaney does. Blaney's going to drive up the racetrack, just take the line away. Denny to the inside of Zane Smith down the back straightaway. Still side by side up front.
These
Great
two
racing.
they will not let each other go for the lead.
Well, now there's a second groove developing in the tunnel. It's allowing that outside line to still be stubborn out here. And at some point, you might just have to take the slide job, drive up the track. The 42 of John Hunter tries to do that, but Reddick's there. 42 has to jump out of the gas. Reddick with the spot.
Finally, all clear out front. Tyler Reddick takes control of the race, and here comes Blaney in that blue number 12.
Yeah, John Hunter got greedy in turn 3 and tried to drive across the track and hope the 45 would lift. He didn't. 45 of Reddick stayed in the throttle. Oh, Blaney almost into the left rear quarter panel of John Hunter. Nemechek got tight off of turn 2. Big run for the 11 of Denny Hamlin down the back straightaway toward the tunnel turn. Then he's going to go to the inside here.
Amazing what that loss of momentum will do for you. Two drivers have combined for 9 wins here, Hamlin and Blaney.
Hamlin's already cut through about half of these guys that flipped the stage.
He's looking for some help from Zane Smith, though. Zane decided to push Blaney into the tunnel. I'm sure he's going to do the same down the front stretch, push that fellow forward, and it will make a difference. The outside should have the momentum. Down into turn 1. Oh no, Zane's gonna cross him over and try to get 2 for 1.
I love the 2 for 1 here. You get in the wake, you use the momentum. Zane Smith pulls out of line, trying to make it happen. Around Blaney now side by side with Hamlin, this for 3rd.
Oh!
There he goes. Zane Smith loses it off the corner.
Lock it down, lock it down.
Inside wall.
Lock it down. Let me know if you make nose contact here. Can't see you.
Man,
Oh, yeah,
he was just pushing so hard there, trying to make something happen. Got a little bit loose. Car got out from under him. That's tough to see because Zane's done such a good job over the last several weeks. Really, this team's kind of been overachieving a little bit, trying to get to where they could run in the top 10 on a regular basis. And here you see it up the track. Just got a little bit loose. He did a great job actually keeping the car out of the door of the 11. There was a loose moment. He corrected up the track, and that could have taken Denny with him. But he did a great job. Kind of sacrificed himself a little bit to not wreck the 11.
Yeah, that could have looked a little bit like the 9 and the 20 last week, right? There was that big wiggle from the 38. Watch this. Watch how close this is. You're absolutely right, Dale. I think the 38 had a chance of not wrecking, but it would have cost the 11 and probably the 38.
Stay in your lane.
He locks his own car down.
Second caution of the day, first for an incident on track. You know, Zane, I mean, we talked about how good they've been running lately. Had those top 10s back-to-back weeks. Was running great last week at Michigan when he had a tire issue after scoring some stage points. And here today, right in the front part of the pack, doing everything he needed to do, and it got away from him.
And we've had some reports from down in the pits, drivers talking about the seams and some of the sealer that they put inside the seams. I'd be curious if we get a chance to talk to Zane at the Infield Care Center if any of that was an issue of losing grip in the car. As you drive out of turn 2, you cross over a lot of these areas of the racetrack where they filled these cracks in. See some of those? See that running parallel with the wall? Well, there's also seams going left and right as well through turns 2. So they're all over the racetrack. There's a great look at it right here. This is turn 1. And so as he's going across these, you can see how that stuff's peeling up. Well, the race car can shatter the tires and slide the tires running across some of those things. And that might have been a part of the reason why he lost a little bit of grip there, lost the rear grip of the race car and spun out.
And that's always been kind of a signature of that corner, is spinning late exit.
Yep.
The seams are some, the banking, the content, maybe you just get a little bit of wheel in it in the middle. We've seen, when he was spinning, there was 8 or 10 other tire tracks ending up in the same location.
Popular place, always seems to deliver some highlights. Saw some drivers coming down pit road. We'll update the situation there. Caution out for a second time here at Pocono. NASCAR on Prime back live at Pocono. Our coverage presented by Metabo HPT. Scan the QR code to check out hot deals on Metabo HPT power tools. Metabo HPT, make, move, go. And now we hear from drivers talking about the role of spotters at Pocono.
Give them a ton of credit. It is not an easy place to spot from here at Pocono.
The exit of turn 3 and entry of turn 1 are difficult for them.
It is very tricky, so you do rely on him, but it's 100% false information into one.
You know you're going to be 3 or 4 wide pretty much every restart, so you got to rely on that spotter to tell you where the cars are, where to get pushes, and what holes you can actually hit.
They're a huge part of what we do here at Pocono, and you better have a good one up on the roof.
I thought Freddie Kraft was great on NASCAR Live talking about what spotters deal with here and how you manage the field as they go around the various parts of this racetrack. Can be very tricky.
Yeah, Freddie gave us some honest answers about some of the things we were curious about, and told me something I thought was interesting, how they get more aggressive with their calls as the race goes on. They have to, tighten it up a little bit when it matters.
Freddie on the spotter stand for Bubba Wallace, one of a handful of drivers came down, made a pit stop lap 42. Those guys restarting from 27th on back. Control car as we go green here. Tyler Reddick outside lane.
Denny up to the top of the racetrack, just really couldn't find any clean air there. It's going to cost him a little bit of speed. Going to get a big push from this 24 down the back straightaway.
Reddick jumps in front of Nemechek to grab the top spot, slicing and dicing behind him. Blaney Elliott side by side for position.
Blaney's going to clear Elliott for that spot. Right behind him, the 5 of Larson. Trying to rebound to get back to the front of the field.
Yeah, Larson hasn't moved as quickly as Hamlin has since the restart when they gave up that track position pitting at the end of stage 1. 5 car back there in the 7th spot.
Yeah, they struggled on the restart before this, lost several spots on the bottom of the racetrack off of turn 2, but he's sort of flatlined here, and Chase Elliott just getting a little clean air there underneath the car. Larson to the inside, a late dive bomb down into the tunnel. A little bit of a surprise for his teammate there, but Chase is going to clear on exit.
Hendrick Motorsports has been great at Pocono, won here 19 times. Got 3 cars in the top 7 today. Saw Elliott and Larson racing for 6th.
Couple cars getting way up the racetrack there, down in turn 3 and 4. Oh, man, the 21's in the wall. SVG.
Look at this. Coming off of turn 3. Crash, caution number 3.
Yeah, that all started back in the middle of turn 3. It looked like SVG got into the inside of Josh Berry, and they go way up the racetrack. And they continue to sort of argue for that position off of the corner. And the 21 runs out of racetrack or runs into the wall. And it looked like from that point forward, it was just chaos.
Heavy damage to the 6 of Brad Keselowski. What's shocking to me is you said it 10 seconds earlier that there was a car up out of the groove, and I thought it create a stack up, but this was a very late developing accident. They got kind of stacked up early. There you go. So there's the SVG and the 21. So they're 3 wide, and the 33 is also, I'm not sure the 33 knows he's 3 wide or doesn't have the ability to stay down a lane. I would love to hear what the 33's hearing, because right there, he's running it like there's 1 car to his outside, not 2.
A few of those cars involved there, the ones that had just come down to make a pit stop, lost all that track position trying to play a little game of strategy, and you get caught in the middle of this.
Yeah, that started into 3, though. I'm kind of curious as to if, here we are.
3/4 front to 2
33's back here. Now watch the 97 and the 21 here. So the 97 runs the 21 up the racetrack. Here comes 33's just kind of coming through like he but he does run them a little high here. But that argument, that disagreement started way back in turn 3 on the entrance there.
Stay down, stay down, stay down. Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake. Straighten it up, straighten it up. All right, right front damage, guys. Stay straight. Right front damage around from outside.
These cars traditionally don't get loose from running side by side. Like the 97 gets in the corner and there was just a little contact. My mind thinks, okay, from history, it's like SVG got loose underneath the 21. But I think they just got in there racing hard and some contact was made and they go up the racetrack and 33 gets in there and they're 3 wide, not enough room.
So I was wondering if the 33 knew he was 3 wide. Well, he knew it because he was the one who made it 3 wide. So just listen to the spotter.
Two behind. Out there, door, quarter, bumper, clear 20. Out there, quarter, bumper, back to doors, top, bottom of 3, all clear, wrecking behind us, inside quarter.
So you gotta, we talk a lot about, Austin Hill is a number of races in this car and the communication on the roof and what all he's dealing with. And I thought it was clear communication of that he was clear of the 20. And then I heard door and quarter, which tells me the 2 cars you just drove up next to are there. So I feel like Austin, because I questioned if he knew. I think Austin knew how many were out there, but maybe his car wouldn't allow it. They just kind of they know if you lift right there, it's easy to say, but if you check up at that spot, you're losing 5 spots. I mean, you're the exit of turn 3 before the longest straightaway.
Well, that was a great view. That Cheddar's onboard camera as Austin Hill got aggressive coming off the turn, and I think about, too, the points implications here, because Shane Van Gisbergen, who won that race at Watkins Glen, had worked his way into the top 16, was in a pretty good spot. He's involved here. Joey Logano, who's had some productive weeks recently, was only 3 points below the chase cut line. He got some damage there, and now pit road is open. Let's go to Trevor.
45 of Tyler Reddick leading the race comes down pit road. The call from Billy Scott is going to be to put 2 tires and fuel in this car. Tyler also saying it's a little bit loose and the bumps make it very edgy.
Trevor, 47 to go here in stage 2. This is right on the edge to be able to make it all the way. Chris Gale makes the call for Denny Hamlin to come down pit road, right side tires only. Tight fuel-wise, Adam, to make it to the end of this stage.
And now we do a little Goodyear race off the pit lane. 13 drivers stay out. Reddick, the best of those that came down the pit lane. When you talk about the exit, 3rd caution of the afternoon. NASCAR on Prime, back live at Pocono. Our coverage presented by Metabo HPT. Another sellout crowd here. And NASCAR fans, you can win this Cup car. Literally, this car. Andrel is giving away an authentic Gen 6 Cup car. Scan the QR code to enter. Riding with William Byron today, courtesy the Andrel onboard camera. They've added a lap here under caution, so we'll step aside. John Hunter Nemechek, the race leader, as we're under caution for the third time. Eli Manning recruits NASCAR champion Ryan Blaney to go undercover at the Team Penske race shop to give racing fans the surprise of a lifetime. Stream the newest episode of The Undercovers, now exclusively on Prime. Let's go down to Kim.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski out of the care center after being part of that multi-car incident. Brad, walk us through what happened, what you know.
Yeah, somebody hit the wall in front of me and they just stacked everybody up. I got through the first wave of the crash and then somebody got into someone else and spun down in front of me and tore the front end off. I didn't really have a chance to even do anything. So it's unfortunate. I actually feel like we were dialing the car in and pretty decent, just kind of waiting for the race to develop and didn't get a chance to let it develop. So I guess you can kind of see it here. They started spinning and wrecking in front of me and I thought I had it cleared and then they were good in that car. So part of it, I guess.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad came in 15th in the chase standings, now being shown 16th and on the bubble. A host of drivers right around that cut line involved in this one.
I feel like that was stubborn on stubborn in the middle in the third lane. They kind of got together and neither one was going to lift, or they thought the other one would kind of give a little bit of room, and they just ran out of real estate.
Hey, we talk about the culture over at Legacy Motor Club. Trevor mentioned that prior to the green flag today, and you look at Eric Jones, now up to 15th. on our chase leaderboard. Third prior to the choose here. And he goes outside lane because he wants to give an assist to his teammate, John Hunter Nemechek, who will be in control of the field. They are performing quite well here today.
We saw this good, solid choice, take the outside line when you have a teammate that can commit to you. Yesterday in the O'Reilly race, it worked out really well. But it's not a guaranteed you're going to have control of the race. That inside line could have a great start as well. We'll see.
.43 to go, stage 2.
All the cars single file on the back there. We're under penalty from when they last came to pit road. Let's see how the front figures this out.
Well, Suarez is always given a little bit of a peek. Nemechek jumps to the lead.
Oh, Reddick way up high, 4 wide and getting past. He gets back in line, but damage done. 4 or 5 spots given up. The 19 of Briscoe now side by side with Jones for second. Big move out of Chastain.
Ross Chastain, very identifiable in that #1 green Chevrolet, getting aggressive.
Oh,
What contact as they come across the tunnel turn.
You and I saw the same wreck happening
Byron
right there.
was squeezed in a sandwich right there.
3 wide again. I mean, just no messing around.
Oh, a little contact there with Ty Gibbs and the 2 of Cindric.
Gibbs trying to come back after they had that long pit stop. Ryan Blaney right there with that group. The whole field continues to get shuffled based on the strategy that you were playing. So there's a lot of give and take, but it's all take on these restarts.
Chase going around the outside of Cole. Custer. Denny wanted to do that as well. A little bit of a bobble for that 11 car. He's going to get a push from his, I'd say his teammate. Car he owns, Tyler Reddick.
Employee.
Yeah. It's going to send him to the inside of Cole Custer. Chase around Priest. Priest drives across the nose of the 11. That'll stall him out just momentarily with this 41 car.
Reddick gave him 1 shot. He's not going to give him a second. Now he's going to follow that 41 in.
Teammates right here, HMS, the 5 of 24. Larson, Byron side by side. Byron's going to take it. Larson just struggling, trying to move forward here.
You know, Larson and Byron both a part of that group that came down at lap 48. Best driver on that cycle, though, is their teammate Chase Elliott, who's up there in the 8th position. Steve, you always say it. You don't have to be leading the race, but you want to make sure you are leading your group on your particular strategy.
Yeah, if you're a fan of one of these drivers that's no longer at the front, you're wondering if their decision to pit's going to work out. Don't feel alone. I'm wondering as well. It's really going to be how this race runs, how this next 41 laps of this stage run. Do we get a caution? Do we not? Right now, I expect everyone in the field near the front to come to pit road under green before the end of this stage. Where will they be and how long will their stops be able to determine the success of this strategy? Right now, though, I got to hand it to the 42 of Nemechek sticking to their plan, and they're controlling this race.
Austin Cindric thinking about 3 wide. Ty Gibbs was ready for that.
Cindric's won here in an O'Reilly car. Dancing behind Austin Dillon in the 3, 54 Ty Gibbs.
Back 3 apart ahead, get by 7.
That battle from 16th on back.
We haven't talked much about Christopher Bell. We talked a lot in the pre-race. Remember that cast on the left hand or left wrist after that huge hit a week ago. Seems like I haven't read anything on the radio, no real report. So I'm going to say that currently running 21st, but staying behind the wheel. A broken wrist. I mean, unbelievable.
Let's go back to last week at Michigan. Restart, 20 in position to have a great day. And collected when the 9 had it get away from him. Chase Elliott slides up into the 20. Such a hard hit, Dale.
Yeah, the hardest one in the next gen era. Definitely top 5, the history of the sport right there. Oh, and amazing this young man was able to get out of the car, much less be here this weekend racing with us. And they worked really hard to get him as comfortable as possible with the cast on his arm. It had to get new glove made for the left hand. And then they will cut this cast off on Monday to put another one on it to allow him to road course race, because he needs to be able to turn right for the road courses, and he's not really able to do that with the current cast that he has on his hand right now. He told me they may replace this cast every week and re-x-ray his hand just to see how the progress is going, Marty.
Yeah, Junior Steve was reading it. I've been listening to Christopher Bell, not one word about his wrist, which is kind of what Adam Stevens predicted before the race, Steve. He said that Bell did not have one complaint about how it was in practice, how he felt after practice either. So far, so good for the driver of the 20.
Larson was able to get around his teammate Byron, but now he's lost that position back. And here is the 12 of Larson, trying to take a spot away. Gibbs has got an opportunity here. He's going to push the 5 through. Wants the outside line through the tunnel.
Well, if you think back to the first stage where the 5 had control of the race, he got too tight leading, which is a real concern because back here, that characteristic's only going to get worse with all the dirty air.
Blaney, first career win here, 2017. Went to victory lane a couple of years ago. Got that Ryan Newman throwback from when the Rocket Man won the Daytona 500 back in 2008. Slides into position. Austin Dillon crossing it over. Out front, it's John Hunter Nemechek in the lead. Check out Prime's exclusive in-race feature, Key Moments, during the broadcast by clicking up on your remote. It's the easiest way to catch up on race highlights and flag changes as they happen. And if you're ever late to NASCAR on Prime, we've got you covered with Rapid Recap, where you can see all key race moments in 2 minutes or less. John Hunter Nemechek celebrated his 29th birthday this week, and he's leading here at Pocono, Trevor Bayne.
Yes, sir, Adam. John Hunter Nemechek also came into this race only having led 21 laps over the last 2 seasons. Today, he's going to cross to lead lap number 18. What a confidence booster it is for this young man. I talked to crew chief Travis Mack earlier, because if you watch these Legacy Motor Clubs cars, they always run right together, whether it's 25th or right now if it's 1st and 3rd. Travis contributes a lot of that to the work being done in the shop, but also his relationship with Justin Alexander, the crew chief on the 43 of Eric Jones. They've worked together in some capacity back to their Hendrick days 20 years ago. I know you guys know the importance of those crew chiefs getting along, Marty.
Trevor checked in with Chris Gale, the crew chief for Denny Hamlin, who's trying to track down Chase Elliott to be the leader of those on that lap 48 pitting strategy. Steve, I asked Chris Gale, I said, pitting at that point, can you make it to the end of the stage? He said, if it goes green, likely not, but I can flip it. And also I can pit with everybody else, and then my stop would be much quicker than everybody else. But Steve, I'm not sure any of these drivers and teams are planning on trying to make it all the way to the end of stage 2. Why would that be?
Well, I believe if you stay out at the end of and score points at the end of stage 2, I just think you're going to be bypassed by so many cars that pit under green that your chance of winning the race is basically gone. Now, there are cars. I look at Ricky Stenhouse back at 25th, Gilliland in 27th. They topped off, and for them, if they can stay out and score stage points, you know, I don't think that's a bad day. They're making something of a day that currently isn't the best, but I think everybody is looking at a green flag pit stop. The question is when? Do you fill it up? How long do you sit there? I'd be interested to see what they all do. And that's assuming it runs green, right? We still have 32 laps to go. A yellow would throw a kind of a issue to everybody's plan.
Larson around the 54 Gibbs. Pretty interesting to see that. Gibbs, one of the better cars in the first part of this race. Giving up a spot right there to the 5-car Larson. Larson's not really moving forward as well as, say, Byron, for example. Byron's able to go up there and pass Custer and Priest, moving himself into 11th position. Right behind McDowell to take a spot to get inside of the top 10. Hamlin's moved forward around Reddick into 8th. So all these cars trying to figure out, you know, Chase just takes a spot away from Suarez here as they're battling side by side.
You referenced Suarez. It's really interesting to look at the team makeup in the top 10 right now. And you put an asterisk on everything because, as we've talked, there's a lot of different strategies out there, and things will continue to settle out as the day goes along. But Team Spire's got all 3 of their Chevys inside the top 10. Impressive at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Suarez is really the car that's struggling right here. Look at this 9-car fly around the top of the racetrack. He's going to carry that momentum around the 7. They were side by side for probably the last 3 or 4 laps trying to battle for this position, and finally Suarez, I think, gives it up to Chase Elliott. And there's Denny Hamlin closing in on all 3 of these cars. Side by side for Byron, he's taking another spot as well. I like this 24 car, how he's been able to get through traffic here, Steve. Shows me that this 24's got some good handle. Haven't seen that out of some other cars that I thought would be good today. Larson, they got a little work to do, but the 24, the 9, maybe those guys can get up there and compete once all this cycle, you know, these teams sort of cycle around through their strategies.
I agree. The 9 and the 24. The Hendrick camp has closed the gap to the Toyotas, in my opinion, at this point at this racetrack, right? The 9 and the 24 are kind of in the last. So if you look on the left side, look at last pit, right? Look at who is at the front of each number. So Elliott was last on 17, so he's the leader of that group. We have John Hunter kind of on his own situation, which is fine. Briscoe leading that last on lap 33 group. And that's the best way to look at it. You mentioned it, Adam. We'll figure out which game a leapfrog is the best to be on, but you definitely want to be the lead of that group regardless.
Don't put $100 on one guy. Put like 25, 25, 25, 20, spread it out, right? Scan the QR code to shop Logitech G's newest products and hottest deals. Logitech G, the official wheel and pedal of NASCAR.
This is the point of the race where it's really easy. As a crew chief, you can kind of get a little lost or lose focus on what you need to do while you're trying to guess what others are going to do. As a driver, I just have to be really clear, Dale, right? Am I looking for full pace? Am I looking for save? You know, how's our car driving? We've heard from our pit road reporters that the temperature is cool the last 5 or 10 degrees over the last 20 or 30 minutes. So all of that's going to affect how these cars handle. Here's the 9 going by Chastain, continue to march through the field.
Yeah, he finally was able to get to the inside of the 1 down into turn 1 and take the pass away. And now Denny will try to close that gap. The 1's going to get a little, you know, aero tight or just lose a little bit of performance this close to the 9 car, and that should give the 11 of Denny Hamlin an opportunity to strike. Marty.
Dale Jr., we've seen Daniel Suarez lose a couple of spots in the last few laps, battling the handling in the 7 car, also battling a cool suit that is not working. Listen to the radio.
I think I lost my shirt. I think it's working. Or if it's working, I cannot feel it.
I don't think it's working. Let's just go ahead and turn that switch off. But remember, your screen will go black for a few minutes, or a few seconds, excuse me.
So Dale Jr., your weather update, very timely. Yes, it is getting cooler here at Pocono, but even on a cool day, is a cool shirt that's not working a hindrance to a driver?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit warmer. That's some pretty thick material that those shirts are made out of, and that if that fluid's not cooling, it's getting warmer like everything else. So it's adding temperature to your core, and it'll just make for a long day. It might be something he can fix inside the car. If not, it'll be a tough day for him.
When is everybody going to make a pit stop? Nemechek leading here at Pocono. .72 laps complete. Nemechek, Briscoe, Jones, the top three at Pocono. And now we look at our burn bar presented by Red Bull.
We talk about fuel mileage and basically how you calculate it and what's important. Well, let's talk about miles per gallon. You see the guys near the front getting just over 5 miles per gallon. We expect that to be about average. Around 5 miles a gallon is good fuel here. I believe most of the cars out front here are going to pit under green, but if we go back and look far enough, the 47 of Stenhouse topped off a lap 51. I believe, reading the radios, that he's going to try to stretch it all the way to the end of this stage. So if we look at the comparison on the burn bar, right, we have just over 5 miles a gallon on the 9 of Chase Elliott, where we're getting almost 6 miles a gallon on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. At 6 miles per gallon, I believe he's going to make it all the way to the end of the stage and get those 10 points. You talk about making something out of a day, right? 10 points for the 47 car who's run most of the day outside the top 20 can be a big difference. When they go home, they're going to see a little bit more reward for their efforts here at Pocono.
A race like this can be the land of opportunity. Chase Elliott trying to take advantage, driving to the inside of Eric Jones. We talked about him, 9, got a really good race car. And everybody chasing John Hunter Nemechek, who's led 29 laps today. That's the most in his career in a race. Marty?
Adam, 1 lap ago, Denny Hamlin came on the radio, very short communication, said, quote, "Something feels funny." The crew immediately jumped into action, and then Chris Lambert told Denny, listen, if you can buy us 4 more laps, that would really help us to get into our fuel window. Oddly enough, a few more laps before that, his teammate Chase Briscoe, too, said he had a small vibration on the 19, so we're going to watch this 11.
Yeah, I was watching him after you made that comment, and he's drove around the 77 of Hocevar. The lap time on the 11 car, very respectable. 54 flat, comparable to Chase Elliott, so he's not slow by any means. Just maybe feeling a little bit of an oddity on this set of tires. We also heard from drivers talking about how the chunks of sealer are coming up out of the racetrack, out of the cracks on this racetrack, particularly down in turn 3 and 4. So he may have picked up some of that stuff on the tire. It may take a few laps to clean that off or get that away.
And all of these guys are trying to get with that fuel window that Marty's talking about. We have 86 to go. We think they go around, call it 40 or just over. So they need to run a couple more laps. They know they're going to get yellows at the end of the stage, so they know they can save a little bit there. But I expect pit road will start to get busy. Now, I don't think everybody's going to come at the same time like we have seen in other areas, but I do think you're going to see a wave, and here you go. First car to hit pit road, the 7 of Suarez, who was just inside the top 5. But behind him, Chastain with the front tires locked up. Be interesting to see if he got down to pit road speed. Trevor, that 1 smoked the tires.
The 1 car of Ross Chastain getting tighter there. No rear bite. He's going to come in and start this pit cycle.
Trevor Daniel Suarez on pit road. He said the car was too free during that run. They are going to wait on fuel. So they're waiting on Ryan Sparks to tell him when he can go back out. And we talked about the Hamlin vibration, or the Hamlin feeling funny in the car, and the 19 saying he had a vibration. Carson Hocevar also said a moment ago, I'm worried about my right front. They too asked him to go a little bit longer to get us to our window.
And watch that pit time, 12 seconds for the 7. Remember, they can do 9-second pit stops pretty easy, but you can only get about 14 gallons of gas in. Some teams need much more than that, the 42 being absolutely one of them. He's going to need nearly a full 20 gallons of Sunoco fuel when he comes to pit road. So this could change up the running order just because of the time. Now for the 42, this is going to seem counterintuitive, but if you're ever going to have a long stop, under green is the time, because 4 seconds up the straightaway is only back to maybe the 9 car, where 4 seconds under yellow could be 20 spots. See if the 42 comes this time. I mentioned the 1 locking up the front tires. He was clean green per NASCAR. No penalty on the 1, so nice job by Ross Chastain getting to pit road. 42 stays on the racetrack, but the 19 of Briscoe decides to peel off. Nice, clean pit road entry. We'll see how long this car has to sit on pit road. He was last on pit road in the 33 lap range. So Marty, I expect the 19 might have to wait on fuel a little bit.
Yes, they are. 4 to 5 seconds. They just told him a moment ago, Steve. You see Carson Hocevar coming down pit road as well. We'll get an eyeball on that right front for Hocevar. Briscoe's been pretty happy with the handling of the car. Just kind of needs a little bit better track position, but they are going to wait on fuel here for the defending winner here at Pocono, the 19. Meanwhile, for the 77, Carson Hocevar said, I'm good everywhere except turn 1. Too free through turn 1 for Hocevar.
You see that play for the 19, that literally the tire changer waited on the gas man. Like, we think it's all about changing tires. It was all about the gas man. They didn't want him to unplug any sooner than he needed to. Now we start to see a little bit of a trickle of other cars coming to pit road. We have the 48 of Bowman there. Now the leader, the 42 of Nemechek on pit road in front of you, Trevor.
John Hunter Nemechek pitting from those 33 laps led so far. He was really happy with his Toyota early in the run, but later he felt like he slid the right rear and was giving up some time to the 19. They are going to wait on fuel here to slip himself up later, Steve.
Once again, you watch the rear tire changer wait on the gas man. This is all going to be about gas in the car. Set it down easy. A clear nod from the gas man saying he sees the fuel in the vent. They want these cars completely full at this point.
Talk about those top 3. Nemechek is out in front of Jones and Briscoe. Briscoe had made the pit stop. Here comes the 19 as the 42 makes his exit.
No surprise here. The 42 needed more fuel than the 19, but did a really good job only losing that much track position, right? One position on the racetrack. It might cost him 2 or 3 as the cycle continues. The other legacy car now in front of Trevor.
Justin Alexander has called his 43 car of Eric Jones to pit road. They'll be waiting on fuel as well. Eric Jones just a little tight here in that run and hoping for an air pressure adjustment to get his balance back.
Scheduled green flag pit stops. 16 laps to go, stage 2. The top 3 have peeled off. They all wait on fuel. And now we'll watch as the 43 rejoins the field.
Yeah, this one I think also will go to the 19 car, although it will be closer than the 42.
At the line behind us now.
You saw the fire out the pipes as he's on the gas, he's upshifting, but the momentum of the 19 is going to carry him by. But where will the 43 blend with the 42? I think the 42 is going to get him as well with momentum. Let's see. It's going to be close. I think the 42 is going to be behind him. So 43 of Jones leapfrogs his teammate. Once again, though, they were on split strategies. Now they're together, right? So now these 2 different plans have merged together. Now we can start taking our attention to the top. Elliott leads, Hamlin second, Byron third. I believe this is the race for the win. I like the strategy these guys are on, Elliott, Hamlin, and Byron. I believe these guys should cycle out in front of Briscoe, the 42 and the 43. So who does it better as we're on board with the 16 of Allmendinger, the Celsius on board, Kim?
Yeah, the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger, just bad in traffic was the call from him, looking for a little bit more out of that race car.
A.J. Allmendinger, top 20 run last week at Michigan. Tremendous anticipation for he and his race team the next couple of weeks as we head to race at Naval Base Coronado, street race next weekend in San Diego, and in 2 weeks' time at Sonoma. Chase Elliott has taken over the race lead. He, Hamlin, Byron, and Reddick all made their last pit stop at lap 48.
Chase has been a little bit quicker than Denny for most of this run. That last lap, though, Denny almost a 1/10 and a half faster. Chase right here. Denny's about a second behind this 9 car. There you see him on the off side of the frame there. And then William Byron in the 24 back there running equal lap times as well.
Side by side as we go to break. 14 to go in the stage at Pocono. Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, born on the track, built for the street. And 11 laps to go, stage 2 at Pocono. This is a good battle for these drivers that were out front, made their scheduled green flag pit stop. Racing for 20th now, Briscoe, Jones, Nemechek all right there.
Yeah, and I'm expecting the 9 and the 11 to jump these guys on the pit cycle, but we're gonna have to wait and see how long their stops are, because this also could be, if it's not the lead, it's going to be in the top 5 or 6 when this all cycles around. You see the 11 and the 9 continue to battle. McDowell has come to pit road. I think Gilliland has now moved himself in position as the highest up car that I think has a chance to make it on fuel. We'll see if that happens. Trevor.
Michael McDowell coming down pit road. He's going to go on the jack, but they're going to hold the jack up and wait for Travis to drop it once the fuel is full here, guys.
Good run of the race here in stage 2 with all 3 of those Spire Chevys inside the top 10. Michael McDowell exits the pit lane after making his scheduled stop with 10 to go in the stage.
I think Chase Elliott would say to his team that he needs a little bit of help on the balance of this race car. As we get deeper into the run, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, just seems to be a little bit better. Denny, can he get to the top of the racetrack over here? Can't quite put a run together through turns 1 and 2. He's ran down this 9 of Chase Elliott.
Now we do our burn bar presented by Red Bull.
Try to see who's the standout on the left side of your screen. Miles per gallon is what we're looking at. A high number would be an indication of somebody trying something. So I keep talking about Gilliland back there in 14th, but how about Cindric or Buscher? They're up at the mid to high 5s. So maybe we have a Ford trying to gamble, do something we didn't expect. Maybe they're going to try to steal some stage points here with 9 more laps to go.
There's the 2 of Cindric, bottom of the screen, with Buscher in the 17. Denny to the inside of the 9. It's going to take the spot away, back into the lead through the 11 team.
Now, if I'm the 9, I would jump to pit road here, right? Like maybe 1 lap fresher tire, just something. Obviously, the 11's making more time than you. You're well inside your fuel window. You get enough fuel in it at this point. Only 73 laps to go in the race. Let's see what Alan Gustafson does. He's a master at this. Been doing this a long time on top of the pit box for Chase Elliott his entire career. Chase knows Alan's going to be looking at the 9 run on the bottom. We'll see if that's to get the pit road or just trying to get the clean air. It looks to be just clean air at this point as he'll chase the 11 down again.
7 to go, stage 2.
And you know, when you think it, you just got to be careful with track size. And you're like, oh, 7 to go. This is a 2.5 mile track. So 7 laps is still a very, very, very long way as we now see the 60th Priest come down pit road. Trevor.
Ryan Priest hitting pit road here. Knows he can make it from this point to the next stop there, Steve. You're going to see them wait on the fuel as well. 4 tires for Ryan Priest.
So let's see what they do, whether they let the jack down. They do. They don't really wait much. So that right there, as we go with the Trimble onboard camera of Ryan Priest looking back at the driver. So to Trevor's point about waiting on fuel, there is also the idea that you have the tire changer run around the gas man. That's also, like, in theory, a different play. Like, these teams have maybe 3 or 4 plays that look normal, but there's some nuance about who's priority at the back of the field. And that kind of shows the hand, because he was a lap 48 guy. That tells me that Hamlin, Elliott, Byron, they are not going to be on this pit road as long as those legacy cars were.
Here's Kyle Larson making his scheduled stop. Trevor?
The fact that Kyle Larson started out the race earlier a little bit tight, but they've over-adjusted. They feel like they're on the other side of it now, loose on exits. They're going to come down now, get their fuel and tires. Kim?
Let's see, this right here might be everything the 11 and the 9 need to say. You see the 5 waiting a little bit on gas. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, the 9 of Chase Elliott, both have come into pit road. The 9 has a little bit of a judge trying to catch that 11. Maybe a car length, but I'll admit Denny Hamlin did a really nice job on pit road. Now, pit crews. Not really tire changes, Kim. This should be how good the fuel man can get the gas in the car.
And Chase Elliott's pit crew has been one of the best all year long. As soon as his teammate Kyle Larson came down, that's when Alan Gustafson, the crew chief, pulled him down and said, pit this time, 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Sunoco fuel for Chase Elliott. No complaints about the handling, Marty.
Jim, the long run pace of the 11 just exceptional here at Pocono today. Nothing from Denny Hamlin since he said something feels funny. Kenneth Purcell, the fueler, will give the nod when they are fueled. Going to wait just a little bit. There's a nod, and there goes Denny Hamlin, who keeps that lead over Chase Elliott off of pit road.
And on the racetrack, the legacy cars, including Chase Briscoe, use those fresher tires to absolutely jump in front of these guys. So the pit stops much quicker on these two cars. 2.5 to 3 seconds, kind of comparing as a general. But look at this, Briscoe, the 42, the 43, already in the tunnel turn. So they use those fresher tires. Now the problem these three have is in 5 laps, we're gonna get the green and white checkered. The field's gonna be bunched up. They're gonna have a hard time holding off those fresher tires, but great pit calls, great pit work by Legacy, giving their guys a chance. Kim.
And Ryan Blaney coming to make his stop on pit road. Already to the left side, those 4 fresh tires going on. Just a little tight in 1, but turn 3 is better than the last run. 54 of Ty Gibbs. They've done a great job of rebounding after an early mishap on their pit stop. You see him waiting on fuel, just needs a little bit better entry.
So now the real question is, who's not going to pit? 4 to go, Cindric, Bell, Gilliland, Wallace. Gilliland, I believe, is trying to stretch it. Is Cindric or Bell going to try to steal some stage points? 4 laps, 10 miles. I mean, that's a long ways to go. And remember, after you see the green and white checkered, you got to coast around, pick up the pace car, run another caution lap. You don't want to run out under caution.
2's coming to pit road right here.
He'll do it with 3 to go in the stage.
20's going to follow him on pit road as well.
Bell gives up position. Here's Kim Kuhn.
And we'll watch Austin Cindric's stop. He didn't really have many complaints. He did note they fired off well. Earlier, he was firing off a little snug, so they alleviated that problem. They will take a second can. You see that second can go in and waiting on fuel.
You see Christopher Bell, Kim, coming down pit road. Now remember, Bell has really run from about 15th to 25th all day long. So we'll see the strategy for Adam Stevens and where it nets out this 20 car. Bell said, I need to be tighter all the way around. So let's see if he gains a little bit of track position as they wait on fuel.
We'll update the running order as we see it at the end of this stage. Now the big question, Dale, is Gillen, does he have enough fuel or enough speed?
Yeah, Briscoe just got around the 47 of Stenhouse, so does Nemechek. Jones will do that as well right here off the screen. So the 19 coming to 2 laps to go, going to try to run down this 34.
And think about Briscoe and the slow start to the year points-wise for this 19 team. He's currently in the chase, right? Came in the 13th position, but we've all said, we've heard the crew chief say, to have a great chance, you think you want to be up inside that top 5 or top 6 in points at the reset. This would be a huge points bonus if Briscoe could win this stage.
2.5 seconds back. He was about 0.8 quicker that lap.
I think Gilliland was saving a little gas because he just picked up some pace, right? He was in the 55s, so Gilliland now sees in his mirror or in his rear view camera the gap, and he has to manage it now for a lap and a half.
Well, you talk about the points in Briscoe. Briscoe able to finish 4th in that opening stage and in position here to pounce once again in that regard, helping his positioning when it comes to the chase standings. Todd Gilliland leading the stage. And we're going to see 1 lap to go this time around, sponsored by Credit One Bank Stage 2. 34 in front of Briscoe by 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, he picks it up again. Steve Gilliland runs a 54.20. Briscoe 7/10 back at a 53.50. Not going to be enough, only 1.5 seconds back.
Yeah, great call by Chris Lawson on the box for this 34 car, trying to give him driver an opportunity for highlight in the day. Like, these guys spend so much time, 20th, 25th, 27th. You know, 10 stage points. He's only scored 19 stage points all year. So to score 10 stage points is just a monster day for this 34 car. And the back half of the field are going to have to pit anyway, right? There's a bunch that are going to come get tires.
Todd Gilliland runs it long. Going to pick up a stage victory. It will be the first of his career. Chase Briscoe plays the strategy. They execute it quite well. He's second in the stage. Great stage points day for him. Same for Eric Jones, who was fourth. They needed him, and they got him.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin looks like he's going to climb into the top 10 as well. And one guy who won is Tyler Reddick, our points leader. So a few more stage points, chipping away at that lead for Denny Hamlin in the overall point system.
And I was going to say that 9 and 11 cycled back further than I thought, but they're going to have much fresher tires for the impending restart for the Stage 3.
Stage 2 complete at Pocono. It's NASCAR on Prime. NASCAR on Prime is presented by Metabo. Get with it at Metabo HP Power Tools. Make, move, go. HIMS Healthcare, designed for you and delivered to your door. And by Logitech G, official wheel and pedal of eNASCAR.
Got some onboards out there today that we want to cover. The Toyota Racing in-car cam for Denny Hamlin. Also the 17 of Christopher Buescher. We got the BuiltSubmarines.com 360 camera inside. Joe Logano in the 22 Hunt Brothers Pizza camera. Another 360 cam here. They're working on this car, doing repairs. William Byron in the 24, the Anduril 360 camera. And Tyler Reddick in the number 45 Toyota Racing. Another 360 in his car. Giving us some great shots today. Thank you to all our camera operators down there in the TV compound doing great work.
You're an onboard specialist.
Wow, I enjoyed doing this, man. It's fun. I got to run the onboards one time during a race. Back in my driving days, during one of the O'Reilly races, I went into the truck and got to run the onboard. it's actually tougher than it looks.
Hey, speaking of O'Reilly, congratulations to you. Big win yesterday for Justin Allgaier.
It was. I've, you know, I got a couple girls that are 5 and 8, and Nicole and Island. They didn't see my racing career, but it was cool because Justin said, if we win, I'm gonna give one of them a ride around in the car. So Nicole got the luxury of doing that yesterday.
It was awesome. It was great to see. I was happy for you guys. Junior Motorsports has been dominant. Now we see John Hunter Nemechek, as expected, stays on the racetrack. Briscoe as well. Gilliland will lead Ricky Stenhouse to pit road. They're going to need full tanks of fuel, Trevor.
Yes, sir. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., we saw him run 46 laps there on that tank of fuel, Steve. I know we've heard some numbers of 42, 43, so they told him to be checking his dash for that gauge as he stretched it long. Said they had made their bed. They had to lay in it now, Marty.
Todd Gilliland, very complimentary of Chris Lawson for kind of how they manage stage 2. He's been struggling with traffic, but they get that stage win. Now they're going to pay the penalty, waiting on all that fuel to start stage 3.
And now the final stage on the way at Pocono. The man that won here last year out front now, Chase Briscoe.
Getting ready for the final stage here at Pocono. Danielle Trotta alongside NASCAR driver Corey LaJoie. Bit breezy here.
And Cartman from South Park, too, is joining us.
But dry, and some free entertainment here before we get you back to the booth. Todd Gilliland, winner of Stage 2. What do you make so far of this 34 and the strategy they're on?
Well, it's so easy to just fixate on the 11 success over the last couple of weeks and Toyotas in general and guys that run good every week. But I just wanted to take time and give some flowers to Todd Gilliland, the 34 team, and Chris Lawson, his teammate. Marty just mentioned him during his pit road report. I sat next to Chris Lawson on the plane up here, and we talked the entire time about how hard it is for those mid-tier teams to go find success. He said the team and the crew have worked past midnight 3 days this week to try to turn not only that car around here to Pocono, but then get ready to San Diego. So we don't talk about enough how hard it is for the road crew guys to get these cars prepared and to get those little nuggets of success every now and then. They go a long way for a small team like that. So kudos Todd Gilliland and Chris Lawson and that 34 team.
Talking about strategy, it always comes into play. Do you 3-stop it? Do you 4-stop it? We have 2 strategies happening now. Chase Briscoe and the Legacy cars versus the 9 of Chase Elliott and the 11 of Denny Hamlin on a differing strategy. They're trying to do it with 4 stops, Corey. Which strategy do you ultimately think will win out?
Well, if I had Stevie's little pen to draw on the screen right there, I'd be circling row 3, that 9 car versus the 11. You've got a couple guys on different strategies, but the race for the win, I believe, is between the 11 and the 9. Thank you, Stevie, for doing that, because we've seen Chevys have a lot of steam. Those Hendrick engines under the hood seem to fire off with a bit more pace. So the 9 needs to get out here, get a good restart launch, and try to get in front of that 11 while they manage this 3rd stage.
Chase Elliott has a win here, Adam Alexander, in 2022. 4 straight top 10s here, the longest of any active driver here at the Tricky Triangle.
Yeah, and his dad, Bill Elliott, really good here. The Hall of Famer, won 5 times at Pocono. Nice assist by you, by the way.
I was a little worried that something was going to change and when circle was going to move, but I was doing my best up here. There's been a lot going on. What you need to know now is there's going to be 59 to go when we take the green flag. Everybody needs a green flag pit stop. The real question is how long their stop's going to be, and we can surmise and guess a little bit, and we're a bit educated, but I believe how much fuel you need could be a difference maker. You look right here on the left-hand side, fuel remaining, right? Well, there's a big difference between Suarez and Hamlin. Now, it's not that Suarez can't get to where he needs to get to. He's just going to have to put more gas in on the stop versus Hamlin, Elliott, Reddick. I think they're down to only 1 can and 1 can only. Marty.
Steve, which strategy is right? Chris Gale thinks he and Denny Hamlin's strategy is the correct one. Listen in as to why.
You have a tire advantage on you in front of you. We're going to need 3 seconds, 2.5 to 3 seconds less fuel or less stop time they're going to be waiting on for 4 tires versus us. The goal here is with these tire advantage, go get all you can, the leader, within that 2 to 3 second window so that we can jump them on the pit stop if we don't pass them outright.
There you have it. Stay within 3 seconds of the leader. You have a tire advantage. The task is clear. Can Denny and Chase do it? We will have to see.
His teammate in charge as we begin the final stage. Chase Briscoe outside of John Hunter Nemechek. Green again into Poconos. And now the games begin as they run it down 3 wide into turn 1. Look at Hamlin get away.
Oh, a little bit of contact for Larson there. The 33 of Austin Hill gets into the back. He saves it.
Nemechek jumps to the lead. Hamlin up to 2nd on the restart.
Chastain with a big block down the back straightaway. Mid-pack. Three wide again. Larson to the inside.
.34 laps led today for John Hunter Nemechek. Denny Hamlin, who won stage 1 from the pole, riding 2nd right now. Well executed on the restart for him.
Blaney tried to get the inside of 45 of Reddick. He goes around the outside of the 17. Great move by Reddick to grab a spot. Closing in on the 7 of Suarez.
That's the battle for 7th on track. Suarez continues to impress. Scored 8 stage points today, been in the game all afternoon. Look at this move, crossover, 2-for-1 opportunity. Kyle Larson in the 5.
Larson was 3 wide with these 2 guys just a lap ago. Finally gonna get that done there. Here comes Priest to the inside. He's gonna join this. Larson's gonna grab another spot right here on Reddick.
5 on the move, final stage. Up to 9th in the running order. You mentioned Priest needs a good day getting after it there in the 60.
Well, Reddick passed the 17 of Buscher, but somehow lost that spot again. Now lost the spot to Larson. Issued for the last lap with the 45 car of Reddick. Trevor, what you got on the 45?
Yeah, guys, we got some radio here if you want to take a listen.
Ready, we have a tire down. Get ready. Feels like right side. I don't know. It just felt really it's going.
Tyler Reddick still debating whether he's got a tire issue on that right side. He's going to stay out here so far, but on that refire, tires felt very bad, guys.
How about the fact that Reddick has no stage points today? Hamlin has picked up 12 stage points. We talk about that battle for the regular season championship. Hamlin has made up almost 80 points in the last 3 races and doing some damage again here today.
We talked about the 9 and the 11 starting on that same row together on this restart. Hamlin's made better progress up to second. Chase just now getting into 4th place. Byron right here in the 24 car. I like the speed in the 24 that I've seen today. If Denny's the best car, I think Chase and Byron seem to show the best speed comparable to him. Well, we got a car losing a right front tire wheel. So this is the 62 of Mears, and what I believe's happened, Steve, is that the wheel came loose.
Yeah, wheel missing.
Yep.
Wheel come loose, hits the brakes.
Hit the rotor and cut
Yeah.
the wheel in half, and it separates and then comes out, you know, the wheel.
Yeah, there you go. That's what half a wheel looks like.
5th caution of the day.
So the wheel comes loose, and then it's cut in half by the brake rotor as it's trying to exit the race car.
This is a big break for John Hunter Nemechek because we heard about that 3 seconds worth of fuel he needs. And I just want to, it's 2 parts. He does need more fuel. But the reason that number is so big is because they're over 1 can. So if he can save a lot here on the yellow, maybe he can get it down to 1 can. Oh, pretty good wall contact as well for Mears. We saw the wheel come off. I didn't know he hit the wall as well, but it was a combo platter for the 62.
The seldom used combo platter. Just over 50 laps to go at Pocono. Coverage on Prime, presented by Metabo HPT. And now we do our Credit One Bank ones to watch. Dale Jr.
Yeah, I like to, tell everybody. We've said that Denny's the guy to beat. Let's tell people who we think might be able to do that, and that's this 9 car of Chase Elliott. They've just had the speed to be able to match this 11. On the long run, though, is where this 9 car needs to improve to be able to take it to Denny Hamlin today.
Well, how about his teammate, Kyle Larson? I know he's on a 39 race winless streak, but he told Marty Snyder this is the best car he has ever had at Pocono. And I bet he's been buried in traffic, but on that last restart, he was making moves. He's up to 8th. Don't sleep on the 5.
You two going with those Hendrick Chevrolets, and they've been getting better and better.
Let me guess.
I'm going with a hot hand. I mean, he's trying to win 3 in a row for the first time in his career. He's in the 50-50 club, 50 poles, over 50 wins. I mean, that's very impressive. Career pole number 51 yesterday. Got a stage victory. Why not? I just like Denny Hamlin. What's going on, Marty?
Daniel Suarez, the highest, Adam, of those coming to pit road, was 10th when that caution came out. Though he said the fronts were gone way too early in that run, and he said, I need a lot more turn if you're going to put me in traffic. And unless there's a ton of caution with 53 to go, they cannot make it to the end. Christopher Bell also taking this opportunity to pit, and this kind of opens up maybe a little bit of a window for some strategy plays later on, but unlikely to be able to make it to the end of the race from here.
Of those that came down the pit lane, Bowman, the first off.
Hamlin, the rookie, starts on the pole, falls to 40th, then wins.
He sweeps at Pocono. A very difficult week for Denny Hamlin. He lost his grandmother a couple days ago.
Yeah, just think of my mom right now.
And here comes Denny Hamlin, and he will post his 4th win.
Denny Hamlin is going to be the spoiler today. Denny Hamlin is going to tie Jeff Gordon with 6.
Again, the 5 hard into the wall.
They can boo my rock out here in a few years.
Denny Hamlin so special here and in position maybe to get number 8. And now our FanDuel race check.
Yeah, no surprise. Denny Hamlin was barely plus money to start the race, and I haven't seen anything to wouldn't say that he's the absolute favorite. So if you look at the others, I don't hate the 3 Hendrick cars, all looking very good. And John Hunter Nemechek, these cautions are helping their situation on fuel. One more yellow, maybe that 42 could play spoiler.
One of the ones that watched it, and I was almost about to add, or pick was William Byron. Those numbers are pretty awesome for William. I think he's got the speed to win this race, but he's just getting the track position over the 9 and the 11 will be tough.
Are you trying to add another driver to your fleet?
I like it. I just like William Byron. I think he's got good speed.
The Hall of Famer gets 2 choices. Marty?
Adam, you mentioned it could be number 8 at Pocono for Denny Hamlin, and if he does that, it would be the 3rd straight in 2026. Cam, there aren't many things Denny Hamlin has not done in his career. Winning 3 straight races is one of those. Could it happen today? And who has the right strategy? Still a lot of confidence in the 11 camp. They're on the right plan.
Well, Marty, Chase Elliott has looked good all day despite qualifying 23rd, and he actually felt like the team in general was overlooked yesterday. Crew Chief Alvin Gustafson saying, we were in Group 1, the track was slick, nobody was paying attention to us, but we were very confident in our car. In fact, they were the only team I talked to who felt good about their car in all 3 corners. The one thing I do want to note, Dale Jr. said they needed a little something on the long run. I have heard them say nothing about the car. Chase has said it's good. Allen has said it's good, so I don't expect any changes to get them better to compete with Hamlin. Trevor?
Kyle Larson with a pair of runner-up finishes here at Pocono in 2018 and 2021. He would love to change that today. Cliff Daniels said if you want to beat these guys in front of you, you're going to have to stay within 3.5 seconds of the cars that are on a different cycle and get in front of the guys who are on the same plan as us. Kyle Larson saying the track is starting to lose some grip, kind of back to typical Pocono for him, which Marty reported earlier this week hasn't been great for Kyle Larson.
So much stress on the pit boxes down the stretch. Let's get Denny Hamlin radio restarting from the inside lane.
Let the 19 know we got to stay together here. Can't kill our line.
We're just trying to get that 19 to commit all the way to turn 1. You got teammates on both lanes, so you both got to kind of stick with each other to make this work.
Nemechek in control, outside lane. Hamlin's had some big restarts the last couple of weeks to get the lead and get the victory. We'll see what happens here. 50 to go.
Dead even, off into turn 1.
Hamlin knows out front, and there goes the 11. All clear. Started on point, won a stage, cycled out of the lead through strategy, but with 50 to go, he's in charge again.
Yeah, not a good sign for the rest of the field to see that 11 car up front. 3 wide here for around 10 through the tunnel. Breeze way up there against the wall.
Chase Elliott trying to make something happen, racing Eric Jones for 4th.
Trying to get a little side draft right there as you see Reddick to be inside of Priest down here, 3 wide. Oh man, he drove down in the corner. We got a car up the racetrack down in the middle of 1 and 2. I think it might have been Hocevar, not quite sure. But the 45 here still on the fence, off into the tunnel turn with McDowell. Austin Hill trying to make it 3 wide. He hasn't spent a lot of time on the racetrack with Chastain in recent years to understand that wasn't going to be an option. Oh, the 12 into the wall. He's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy about how Chastain got onto his inside, made him a little bit tight there. Got him into the fence. Chastain wisely gets behind this 12. So Chastain up the racetrack, using a lot of racetrack right there. Ryan's got a right to be upset. Contact wasn't as bad as it looked the first time by. I believe the 12 is going to be okay.
It's 2 racing for 12. Chastain's never finished inside the top 10 here at Pocono.
This is the back half of the field here. Some of the hardest racing you'll see in the field is around for these positions, particularly after these restarts.
A couple of the Spire cars cycled outside the top 15. McDowell still top 10. You got Suarez back there racing with Hocevar.
Yeah, I've been surprised that Hocevar hadn't had a better day. I thought, ran good here last year, expected there to be speed in that car. The car practiced really well. For whatever reason, they just haven't been able to find the track position today. I don't really know that he doesn't have a fast car. They just haven't been able to work their way forward.
See the advantage for Hamlin. 2.5 over Nemechek. And I will say that even though Nemechek lost the top spot on the restart, staying connected, running second, just doing all you can to keep contact with the front will help you when things cycle later on and you make that final pit stop.
Reddick's running 9th, and as they run, if this race were to end now, Denny would be only 12 points back. It's crazy how he's gained so many points over the last several weeks.
And I'm guilty. Corey said it in the pre-race, Dale. I think you mentioned it. After the first 5 or 6 races of the season, I didn't think there was a conversation about who's going to win the regular season and have the most points heading into the chase, because Reddick had such a hot start, but Hamlin has run him down. You just mentioned it, 12 back if this was a checkered flag.
And there's a lot to make of that right now, because that is including all the points that come with a victory, right? And so that does really help Hamlin cut the gap down. But the reality is, out front right now, in charge of this race and very much in position to go out and make it 3 in a row.
Fell out of line, he gets back in line. Back there in 21st. Suarez a couple cars in front of him. That white hood right there is Hocevar behind him. Suarez went to pit road on that last cycle, got some tires. We'll see if that helps him as these tires age.
Good little battle right here with Wallace and Bowman. Oh, Bowman's gonna get that spot.
22nd, 23rd on track. Let's go back to the front, do our Napa know-how moment. Conversation today centers around Denny Hamlin.
Just driving away. About a couple tenths faster than Nemechek there. Run a 53.60. Nobody's in the 60s. Every bunch of cars in the 70s right there in the top 10. But the best car on the racetrack, plus the clean air, in control of the race. It's their race to lose, honestly. It's incredible what he's been able to do over the last couple of weeks.
Hamlin leads Nemechek by 2 seconds. Briscoe, Elliott, Jones, the rest of the top 5. Back live at Pocono, significant pit stops, final ones of the day happening scheduled under green, Kim.
Yeah, we have Chase Elliott and William Byron both, and Chase Elliott still happy with that race car. They will take 4 tires on this stop for his teammate William Byron. The car is good, he just couldn't go anywhere, so that window opened to pit, and they took advantage.
Slow, it looks like, on the left side of the 5.
Yeah, Byron also leaps the 9 and the 5 there, so the 24 gets in front of his teammates.
And these guys are going to want to work together, though. They don't want to get side by side. The idea of coming right now is to get the freshest tires on this car. If a yellow comes out, that'd be good for these guys as well. But get fresh tires on and try to match the 11 speed as best you can. Here comes the 42 of Nemechek, who needed a little bit more fuel. He's going to get around the 9. Just those couple laps of fresher tires working. William Byron's going to have to be defensive right here, though. Stay in front of Nemechek. What a race. What a call. Really efficient work by both legacy cars, both crew chiefs, all the engineers should just be really smiling. Not only have they brought great race cars, but they have called a great race at one of the trickiest tracks to do it. They've given themselves a chance to show the speed in those Toyotas, Trevor.
Michael McDowell hitting pit road. We saw him earlier come in to start the pit cycle in stage 2. Now he's going to get his 4 tires and fuel, fighting a little bit of tight in that Chevrolet.
McDowell's had a good day. It cycled up inside the top 10, maybe just outside when green flag pit stops began.
Here comes the leader, Denny Hamlin, to pit road.
39 to go.
It's all about execution. Denny can't speed. Team has to get the car full. And then we will see where he blends on the racetrack compared to Byron. He should be fine. He had a big enough lead pre-cycle, but a lot of moving parts in a pit cycle, Marty. The 11 in front of you.
Remember NASCAR Live, Steve. Denny Hamlin said the pit crew has been absolutely on it lately. Let's see if they can deliver here on this final stop of the day. Denny, after that restart, was able to stretch out the lead, showing that strength of this 11 car on the longer run. Clean stop so far, and they said we're going on the jack. So as soon as it drops, I can tell it's already full, and there goes Hamlin. Let's see where he cycles out.
Well, on board with the 24 of Byron. Hamlin's going to be upper left. He's already kind of off and going, so I think Hamlin's going to easily keep the lead over Byron. Now it's whose car is better. 38 laps to go. We assume both of these cars have enough gas to make it, unless there was a miscalculation. I think that's a pretty safe assumption. A bunch of cars still on the racetrack have to pit, but this should be for the race win.
Yeah, I was going to say, not the battle for the lead right now, but it will be when everything cycles through if we stay conventional here. Top 15 cars yet to make a pit stop. Steve talks about those that still must get their service.
So we'll just run a couple laps here and see what lap times Denny's able to produce. All day long, they've been able to be the faster car, Steve. But now Byron, who we've kind of talked about throughout the day, is a car that looked relatively competitive, maybe a top 3 car. Well, now he has clean air as well. We'll see if he can match the lap time.
And there's some chance. Let's talk about the cars that haven't pitted. So Reddick at this point, they may run long and hope they get a yellow and think fresher tires would help. That's an option. Maybe they're just trying to be safer for in case we have some overtime. So there's a few schools of thought. Suarez back in 6th. He was last on pit road at 107, right? You see 16 laps since last pit. So Suarez, maybe he's thinking 2 tires, maybe some gas only. So I think there could be some movement through this pit cycle. I don't think anything's going to cycle somebody in front of the 11, but still 36 laps to go. A caution would change absolutely everything.
Looked like Larson was in position to maybe make a move on the legacy car there, the 42 John Hunter Nemechek, but couldn't quite get the job done. Just maybe a little more speed right now in that 5 car.
Reddick out front, still waiting his pit stop. Let's do our all-day value presented by IHOP. Good time to focus on John Hunter Nemechek. I mean, you talked about the execution across the board. The game plan coming in is one thing, but to be able to go out and do it and have the speed in the race car and all those things, they're checking all the boxes here today.
Yeah, Travis Mack trying to find every advantage he can for this 42 car. Most importantly, though, I mean, it's fast enough on the racetrack. Dale, we talked about the Kings at the beginning of this, right? Like, what is most important? And we kind of joked about speed, but what the 42 is proving is you could call it a good race, but you have to have speed because you just can't put your car out there and hope. And the 42 has held its own against all the big guys today.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that we've celebrated with Legacy over the last several weeks is they've found consistency. And we talked about it on our pre-race show where the information being shared across the board with all the Toyotas seems to be finally getting to the Legacy team, or they're starting to finally utilize it and get the information and need it, and see it help them on the racetrack. So it's really impressive to see the collaboration across all the Toyota teams to be able to go out there and put all those cars on the racetrack, make them go fast. And other manufacturers are going to take note. They're going to start to try to emulate what's working across the board for all the organizations that drive the Toyota banner.
Just over 30 laps to go at Pocono. Reddick still out front. With no power comes no responsibility. Nicolas Cage's Spider Noir. All episodes available now on Prime Video. And aerial coverage today at Pocono is presented by Goodyear. Born on the track, built for the street. Heading toward 30 laps to go.
Reddick still out on the racetrack leading, running 53.7s. Denny Hamlin in 11th. It's the first car who's come to pit road running 53.6s. So Reddick's running pretty solid lap times to have been out there on these tires as long as they have. We talked early in the day about how tires really didn't have a lot of fall off, and Reddick trying to take advantage of having this clean air. Maybe the fresher tire at the end will give him opportunity to be aggressive. Marty.
Carson Hocevar gives up a top 10 spot, Dale Jr., and comes to pit road here. You asked the question a moment ago, what's been going on with the 77? The longer they run, the tighter that car gets. Hocevar said several times, I need to keep my turn on the long run. That's been their struggle.
Frustrating too when a car just migrates tight because there's not a lot you can do. You just got to slow down and let the front tires do their work.
29 to go. We are commercial free through the checkered flag on Prime.
We wanted to also compare lap time with Byron and Denny, and it's like the last lap on the racetrack, Byron just a little bit quicker than Denny, but still about a 3-second difference between the two cars.
Christopher Bell, 6th right now, Marty.
Yeah, everybody thinks Denny Hamlin, his teammate, is the one in the catbird seat here at Pocono with 29 to go. But what are Christopher Bell and Adam Stevens cooking up? Listen in.
Really good, man. Keep doing that. We're going to stretch this thing. That last lap was fantastic. Good mileage and good speed.
Adam Stevens, we're going to, quote, stretch this thing. Now, Steve, they pitted with 51 laps to go. That would be a fairly massive stretch. I just checked in with Adam Stevens. I said, can you stretch it to the end? He said, I believe we can, but I do not think that we will win. I think this could just get us some track position. Remember, they've run pretty much from 20th to 25th today with Bell and that broken left wrist, so taking a little bit of a risk here to see if they can stretch it and gain some track position, net out better at the end of the day.
Yeah, from the last time they pitted, they would need a little over 6 miles per gallon on average.
Now let's do our burn bar presented by Red Bull.
Everybody at full song, you're going to see 5.0s, 5.1s, even Reddick down there in 4.8 because he is burning some gas running those laps. But right there in the middle at 5.6, you're going to see Bell. So not quite the 6.0 I think he needs to average, but you know, this is just the last 3 laps. So there you kind of get it when you can. You find your kind of pick your moments. When you find a car you're catching, you draft a little bit. And he probably figures he could get to maybe 10 to go and then really judge where his position is on the racetrack and decide. The other thing is you can even change strategies. You come to pit road towards the end and hope for a yellow and you'll have fresh tires for the restart. There's a lot of options still for the 20. Battle right here between the 44 and the 33. Austin Hill doing a really nice job in this car. I know a couple of these last restarts have cost him some positions, but just a big difference from the O'Reilly car to this Cup car.
Yeah, he's had good speed in practice, qualified pretty decent, Austin Hill. And I think he's ran well in the race. To be honest with you, maybe his best performance behind the wheel of the next-gen car. Just going to get better and better each week as he gets more time in the car. He's having to do the, be a full-time race car driver ×2. He's doing sim work for both O'Reilly and for the Cup stuff, probably way more sim work than most guys are doing, just trying to accelerate that learning curve. Got to be in all the meetings for each series, the post-race meetings, the pre-race meetings, all week long. So just a heavy lift for this young guy, but he wants to prove to RCR that he's the man for the job next year. I don't know that it's an obvious that he will be in this car for next year, so he's out there trying to prove, make that a very easy decision for Richard Childress Racing. Runs like today, I think, is what you need to do. We're not really worrying about the finishing position. Just show me the speed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Where the raw speed is, and if we can learn how to execute better. Here's the leader coming to pit road.
Tyler Reddick making his scheduled stop, 25 laps to go.
45 of Tyler Reddick decided to gamble and get some clean air there to see if they can make some lap time. We'll see if this pays off on the back end of the run as they have fresher tires than everyone else. So we'll see him hit his box here for tires and fuel. Ross Chastain coming in right behind him, pitted 2 stalls back from him as you see him enter the screen. Ross Chastain has been building free and he asked for a small chassis adjustment, which Steve might slow down that pit stall a little bit.
Yeah, you see 9.7 on Reddick, 9.0 for Chastain. Great stop for the 1. I will say that the Hamlin has lost a little bit of his gap to Byron, mostly because of traffic. I think he's having a little bit more trouble getting through traffic than Byron is.
Yeah, the last lap on the racetrack, a 54.19 for Denny, a 53.66 for Byron. Byron, second fastest lap on the racetrack. The only other car that ran the best lap last time by was Cole Custer, way back at 30th. But to your point, Steve, I think that, the Byron car is on par, but as we know, we get deep into the long run. We'll see if this 11 car starts to make the magic that it tends to do. The gap is closing just a little bit.
And the problem with this place, or the challenge is maybe a better word, if you catch a lap car in the wrong time and you have any sort of momentum killer in a corner, it can cost a big chunk of time down one of these straightaways.
That lap right there, 53.59 for Denny, clean air. 53.87 on Byron.
I just think about the end of stage one. You know, we're coming down to the end of the stage. Larson's leading. They come up on Casey Mears. That dirty air affected the 5, allows the 11 to get by. Happens here a lot. It's happened today.
I want to believe that, you know, the 24 can get up there and make a race out of it, but we just don't know. Denny's really, really smart. Kind of like David Pearson. He's going to push as hard as he needs to. He's probably got a lot more race car in his pocket than he's showing right now. 54's on pit road. Kim.
That's right. Early in the run, he said it wouldn't turn center off. Then it finally freed up there later in the run as he went a little far over onto that hose, so adjusted there before starting that stop. So a little hiccup, and this is actually the second hiccup of the day for them on pit road. Remember, they had an issue on the right rear in an earlier stop, but not a great stop under green for the 54.
Yeah, the advantage of trying to take 2 tires were kind of lost by sliding long in his box and having to back it up. Did a nice job. Crew did a good job not going to work, not incurring a penalty by being over, and Ty very efficiently got it in reverse, but the time penalty was lost.
It puts Ryan Blaney in the race lead. Suarez is second. Christopher Bell is third. Here comes Blaney.
And Blaney will have the first box onto pit road. He was reporting, I just need a number more for torn. You see the right side tires going on, and they will take 4 tires on this stop. They should really not take a ton of fuel, though. They felt like they were good with the last stop on 2 cans, Marty.
And here comes that second place car, Daniel Suarez. He told Ryan Sparks a moment ago, we've made it better in traffic, but I got to keep that turn for these final 22 laps. Again, he pitted at lap 107, so this stop should be a little bit quicker than everybody else, and you see that reflected in right side tires only.
So got a car way up the racetrack in turn 1 and 2. A little bit of an issue. I don't believe there was contact with the wall, but there's a 97. Here it is. I think Shane Van Gisbergen got way up the racetrack. I believe he stayed out of the wall, but got a ton of debris on his tires. He's way up against the fence, and he's kind of struggling still here to get going. Let's take a look at it and see if we can see what happened with the 97. There it is right there. I mean, I just watched him go down in the corner. It looked like he got way up the track with a right front tire was flat, but it appears the right front tire's okay. Just gonna have to run a little bit to clean all that debris off his tires that he picked up and continue on.
Let's go back to the front of the field. Christopher Bell leading this thing. Here's 20 radio.
We're racing the 11. He's back. We need to save. Keep saving hard. So the last 3 or 4 laps, we can go hard.
So there you go. Bell has 10 seconds over Hamlin. 21 laps to go. Pace-wise, I just think Hamlin's going to get there anyway with the little bit fresher tires and between the saving. I mentioned that Christopher Bell needs about 6 miles per gallon. Well, that's exactly what he's got the last few laps, getting a little bit of tow out front. Byron a little bit quicker than Denny that last lap. Cut 2/10 off of the distance between them. And there was 3 seconds between Denny and Byron. Now it's down to a second between the 11 and the 24. They both run almost identical lap times the last time by.
Keep those fuel numbers in. Burn bar presented by Red Bull.
Yeah, the 24 is close enough now to the 11 that he has him squarely in the mirror. There it is, on board with Byron. You see up ahead.
And Denny's got a little bit of a gap, but that's enough to have a little draft down this front straightaway too. So Byron's had to work hard by himself to get this gap closed up, but now close enough to possibly get a little bit of an assist to tow down the front straightaway. But let's listen to some 11 radio.
We need to go. The 20 is in the 1. Going to try and stretch it, it sounds like. He's got to save about 4 laps of fuel, but he's trying to, so we need to go catch him if we can.
That's the information that Denny's getting. So we're going to believe that Denny's going to push as hard as he can. He's showing everything that he has.
9.5 seconds in front of you. I don't think he can make it without slowing down his pace a lot more, but just want you to be aware.
Byron 2/10 quicker or a 10th faster than Denny that last lap. So if Denny's pushing to catch this 20, Byron, the best car on the racetrack, as we're closing in with 19 to go. I didn't think anybody had anything for this 11, but maybe this 24 car might have enough to get up there and make something out of it. Denny is going to be able to control the race with the dirty air, but he will catch lap traffic. We saw this at the start of the race, guys, when Kyle Larson lost the lead to Denny Hamlin in some lap traffic off of turn 3. That's what William Byron is going to hope happens with Denny Hamlin. I don't believe Byron can drive up there and just get around this 11 by himself. He will need some traffic to muddy the waters a little bit for Denny Hamlin.
Now, 18 laps to go. Just such a long time at Pocono. Advantage still 9 seconds out front for Christopher Bell. Think about what happened to him last week in the injury, managing the fuel gauge, and back behind him, the race for second right now, Hamlin and Byron.
Equal lap times the last time by. Nemechek also a couple seconds back in the 42 run of 70. All three of those guys, the 11, 24, 42, on top of each other.
Nemechek would love the 11 and the 24.
This time by, look at that, almost two tenths faster for William Byron. You can see it evidently on the screen that the 11 is getting larger.
Well, I was getting ready to say, Nemechek wants Byron to get there, somehow get them side by side and start to battle, park each other, side draft each other, because it wouldn't take a lap or two and Nemechek would be in the battle. And Reddick on the freshest tires is really coming. He's 5 or 6 seconds back, but he is making really good lap times in the 45.
Let's get an update. Driver 11, Marty.
And Denny Hamlin knows that 24 growing bigger in his mirror. In fact, a moment ago, they just started giving him updates of where William Byron is running. And when they went into the tunnel turn last time, Dale, he said to Chris Lambert, his spotter, give me those updates. Tell me where that 24 is running so I can match what he's doing.
Yeah, he wants to know exactly the line the 24 is running so that he can try to, again, he's looking at the mirror, but also trying to get information about what the 24 likes to do. Is he running the top, the middle, in turn 1, turn 3, the tunnel?
We're going to have to start giving some cadence to this 20 car as well, because I'm going to tell you, they told Hamlin to go get him, and it's only 8.6 seconds with 16 laps to go, so.
I don't think he's going to get to us if you can keep doing that.
Adam Stevens says, I don't think he's going to get to us. Now, look, we're trying to guess how much fuel this 20 is saving, but these teams have become so efficient with fuel savings. Drivers have the tools to do it.
Last year, the 19 of Briscoe, we didn't think there was any chance that he could stretch the fuel the way he did, Steve, but they were able to make that happen now. I think the 20's having to run a little bit harder. But again, I think they surprise themselves sometimes on how far they can stretch the mileage here.
Well, I'd say 51 laps, 50 needing to be green, 1 under yellow would be as far as I've seen somebody stretch it under green at Pocono in quite some time. Last year, to put it into perspective, right, the 19 had to go just over 40 laps. Now, they had some issue on fueling and they weren't full, which is what made him have to save some gas. The 20 is just trying to go as far as possible. Trevor, the 45 of Reddick in 6th on fresher tires.
Yeah, the thing I love about this race, Steve, is you never know where the punch is going to come from. We saw Tyler Reddick stay out, run long. Now he's on that tire advantage. He's gaining over half a second a lap. And if you're any good at math, he's 8 seconds back. Maybe he can make it. I don't know, 15 to go. They're asking that on the radio. Tyler Reddick said, can I make it? They said, we think so. We'll get back to you.
What I love is it's just they've given themselves options. They just don't all follow the 11 down and say, well, he has us beat today. We're going to do what the 11 does. They're not Eeyore today, right? They're out there trying to make something work, trying to be positive, giving the driver 45. These guys have had an unbelievable season. But that was a long time. As great as it was, it's kind of almost out of sight, out of mind. That happened so far at the beginning. Marty, the 20 of Bell, currently 7 seconds in front of Hamlin.
Steve, you're exactly right. They're starting to be a little growing confidence here in the 20 camp. They can make it. It's going to be close. Listen to the radio.
Our chance for a top 3 is to keep saving. Stay disciplined, keep saving. It's going to be close. We got to have fuel in the end, man. Keep saving.
Adam Stevens, Steve has said that about 4 times since that radio transmission. It's going to be close. I need a little bit more, but that gap really not shrinking to his teammate Denny Hamlin. You mentioned still 7 seconds with 13 to go.
Well, I've been cheating, looking at the burn bar up here, and I'm less concerned about the 6.6 seconds as I am that tank of Sunoco fuel behind the driver of the 20. I think he needs about 6.0 average, and I've seen a lot of laps 5-point-somethings, and the 5-point-somethings mean they're a little short. And you can hear it in Adam Stevens' voice there. Don't get caught up in the race with the 11. Like, he's thinking top 3. You know, just anything would be a great day.
A little bit of lap traffic for Denny Hamlin as we saw on the screen.
I think your turn 1 is good. You need to lift earlier in 2 and 3.
That's instructions to the 20. As you were mentioned, traffic now in front of the 11.
Yeah, the 24's not been able to gain over the last couple of laps on the 11 of Denny Hamlin, and Denny's going to make quick work of the lap traffic.
Going around Ty Dillon in the 10.
One car, though, that right in front of him, Daniel Dye, doesn't do a lot of racing in the next gen. Will he know how to, you know, make this as easy as possible for Denny to get through?
You know, I think about Christopher Bell and his average running position today outside the top 20. Dealing with that fractured wrist and all the things that have come with that after that hard hit last week in Michigan. And this team has really managed the afternoon, putting themselves in the best position for success now. Can he save enough to get to the finish line? 11 to go. He's still out front, Marty.
Steve's burn bar, Adam, is indeed a cheat. Adam Stevens just told Christopher Bell, that's not enough. I need a little bit more. So, Steve, you called it. They're noticing it on the 20 as well. Need a little bit more to make it to the end, these final 11 laps.
I've tested math a few times, Marty, and I'm 0 for every time I've tried to test the math. When it says you're not going to make it, the guy sitting next to me has felt it from behind the wheel. One time at Las Vegas, we were supposed to be a mile short. We ran out exactly a mile from the start-finish line. Like, these guys are so good at predicting, and that was a decade ago. These cars now, they have it down to the ounce. So Adam Stevens coaching his driver. But remember, if you get a yellow, you probably could save enough to make it. So you don't want to just pull over and give up your track position.
I think it sounded like right there he's clutching it as he went off into the corner. It's possible. We've seen drivers clutch, kill the engine. I don't think he's doing that to be able to make the lap time, but
let's see what he's doing. Lifted real early, real early. No brake. I'm looking at the RPM to your point, Dale, because it would drop dramatically if he clutched. One thing he didn't do, there's no downshift. That thing's high gear all the way around. Keeping the RPM is basically fuel burn. That's how you can look at it. If the RPM's going up, you're burning more gas. See here, probably lift real early, no brake. Turn 3 will be the other one. You should use a bunch of brake in turn 3 or some brake. I bet he uses nearly probably 0, I bet. I bet he coasts off into the corner, shaking his head. Adam's like, that's not enough. Yeah. I need more. Bell's like, man, I have a cast on my left wrist. I'm doing the best I can out here. Cut me some slack. Find me some fuel. 25 miles to go, 10 laps.
And there's Denny right there at the top of the screen.
Keep lifting early.
I think he's going to get there easily. Just 10 laps here, 9 laps here. There's a long go. This is the size, you know, this track is like a super speedway in size for Daytona, Talladega. So he's got a long, long way to go to be able to try to maintain this 3.5-second lead.
But look at the gap, right? If Bell does save enough and he could say he gets 10 seconds back, that's going to be a 6th or a 7th for a day that he was outside the top 20.
Huge for them. So we ride here with Hamlin. We talked about where he is in the running order. Right behind him, you know, William Byron having a great day. They've needed it. A lot of things have gone wrong for this 24 team in 2026, but they're in line for a top 5 finish. And then you go behind him, and we just can't say enough about the execution and the opportunity that exists for Legacy Motor Club, and in particular the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek, 6th here last year and in position for a top 5 today.
And then you got Tyler Reddick right behind him. Tyler with the newer tires, running about, let's say, 0.2 to 0.5 better a lap than Denny Hamlin. So he's cut that distance between him and Denny down to about 5 seconds. But now, this is where it gets tough. He's in traffic. These spots won't come easily. And so this will be what I believe keeps this 45 car from going up there and challenging for the win. Trying to get by Nemechek here. costing him laps that he doesn't have to give.
Behind Reddick, Kyle Larson started on the front row. This team's been performing lately. When you think about what they did, Coke 600 had some good things going at Nashville, a late spin, but they've been scoring stage points, knocking on the door. And here he is riding 6 today. He's also knocking on the door, top 5 in points, that threshold where you need to be if you're going to win a championship. Of course, he is our reigning champ. Right behind him, Eric Jones, knocking out another top 10 this afternoon. He rides 7th. Their performance has been outstanding.
Yeah, Legacy Motor Club having a great day. Right behind him, the RFK entry, the 17 of Chris Buescher, currently 8th. Just, that's what Chris Buescher does. Quiet days, another top 10. The 1 of Chastain, I won't say it was quiet. We've seen some tire smoke coming to pit road. You can't miss this Busch Light Lime on the racetrack. It's bright green and it stands out, but somehow he's just blended his way into the top 10. And behind the 1 of Chastain, the 54 of Gibbs, we saw the 2-tire call a little long in his pit box. It may have cost him 1 spot to Chastain a couple seconds back. I'm not sure if it was a big deal in the absolute finishing order, but Gibbs continues time after time just finding his way. Remember that slow pit stop early really got the 54 behind, but they've recovered to run in the top 10.
I think there were 6 times this year that Gibbs has either matched or bettered his career best at a track. It speaks to their performance through this first part of the regular season.
Denny's under 2 seconds behind the 20 of Christopher Bell.
And I think Bell knows now it's all about fuel conservation. Looking at his last couple laps, he is saving a ton of fuel.
Going to be 5 laps to go this time around.
Does he start to, just when Denny gets within range, does he have any more ability to push?
Well, the problem is with 28 cars in the lead lap, it would be a very costly gamble, right? He's currently, as they run, up inside the top 10, that has winning points involved, so he won't be quite that high up. But if you run out of gas at the white flag, you're going to lose 25 points. Let's listen into the 20.
Stay on that pace, even if they get there. We'll probably slide in P4, we think, if we did enough saving.
I like the honesty. Like, hey, man, let's not even pretend we're racing Hamlin. We're thinking P4. They've given him a target pace. Hamlin's thinking, that's great, man, but just let me go clean because I have Hendrick Chevy back here a couple seconds back, but he's close enough. I don't want to catch you at the wrong time.
That's so painful for Christopher Bell to know that he could run harder and possibly keep Denny behind him. He's going to have to let him just drive right by him. He's got to do it quick because Byron's only 2 seconds back. There goes Denny to the inside. That'll be there. There it is.
Denny Hamlin back on point. His teammates saving fuel. Hamlin takes advantage. The 11 in charge, coming to 4 laps to go.
Now Bell has to use this air. Right now, let's talk. It's not good that you've lost the position, but now just get in that slipstream. Let the air pull you along. I think it's easier, Dale, to save now that you know it's not for the win.
Oh, yeah.
Right now you've lost the race to the 11. Now back it up. I don't care if you go 10 seconds back.
Now he's sitting there thinking, I probably should have saved a lot more than I did. I didn't, he's hoping throughout all of this that maybe there's this chance, right, that we could actually win this race. So he pushed probably harder than he should have. His team, backed him down. Now that he's lost the lead to Hamlin, he's thinking, man, I sure hope I did save enough. And he's probably doing that very aggressively now as William Byron's closing in on the back bumper, the 20 of Christopher Bell.
And now if you're Denny Hamlin, you're like, just get me to that white flag.
Yeah.
Don't need any more drama this afternoon. Riding with Byron here.
Bell was 31st when we started this run.
Yeah, what a call.
Yeah. I mean, if it works, really great call. And, he's thinking he's in this car because he wants to try to race for a championship. He comes in, he wants to be in that top 5, top 6. It's about 40 points or so out of that position coming into this race. So it's going to be a big day. Make some gains on some guys to try to keep himself in that conversation.
Bell wishes this race was 2 laps shorter. The guy behind him, Tyler Reddick, wishes it was about 5 laps longer because Reddick on the fresher tires is easily going to go by Bell. And I think he has Byron. He has more than enough. He's been a second faster than Byron the last 3 laps. So I think he's going to get Byron for sure. I'm not sure he has speed to go get Hamlin. Hamlin definitely doesn't want to see a yellow, though, because if you think you're staying out, which probably the leaders would, the fresher tires for Reddick are really showing up. Let's see just on board if he's able to make this pass clean or if he's going to get stuck behind the 24.
2 laps to go.
How about Denny Hamlin? Last week at Michigan, gets his 63rd career victory. And it comes nearly 20 years after he got his first right here at Pocono. Just unbelievable what this guy has been able to do over the long haul. And at 45 years old, continues to be top-notch. No debating. He is on fire right now. Hottest driver in all of NASCAR.
Get Reddick back to the throttle, trying to make a run happen here on this 24 car Byron. Oh man, he buries it down into turn 3 to the inside.
Junior Christopher Bell out of fuel, running fourth. He just said, I'm out, I'm out.
Oh man, so Denny on the top is gonna take the white flag right here.
1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. There's Bell peeling off, coming to pit road.
Yeah, so at least he got to pit road. He's probably gonna lose 20, 25 spots. Now it's all about Denny Hamlin. He has about 2 miles to go.
4 times in his career, he's won back-to-back, but he's never had the hat trick, winning 3 in a row. Boy, has he been so impressive. Across the tunnel turn, short chute to turn 3. And now the left-hander coming back to the checkered flag. Hamlin is on a heater. Denny gets his 3rd victory in a row, and it comes here at Pocono.
3 in a row, 64, my man. Great work. Double belt. Great job, man. Great stage point and the finish. I think you closed up at like 20 from the point.
He's now 19
All I
back.
care about is the wins, man. You guys are doing it. Way to go, man. I'm proud of you guys.
Hamlin now 19 points back. Incredible day. 64th career victory. And the 8th time he's pulled into victory lane here at Pocono.
Bell battled it out. It's going to end up 26th.
How about this? Talk about drivers that have been able to win 3 in a row and getting it done when you start up front. That's an elite list. Darrell Waltrip on there, 1981. Oh, by the way, he was driving the 11 car. Then you go big picture from a team perspective. This win number 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing at Pocono, matching Hendrick Motorsports for the most all time.
Yeah, Chris Gale and Denny Hamlin has now won 10 races together. This combination is quickly becoming magic in front of our eyes.
Yeah, what's impressive to me is that we know the Toyotas are great this year, but they have done the best job, clearly, of all of them to be the best one week in and week out. I just don't know what, what's gonna stop them. Does anybody in this field have anything for this 11 team? The more they win, the more confident Denny gets, and we've always said that that's dangerous for the rest of the field when Denny Hamlin has confidence. I don't think he's ever been more confident than he is right now.
Now they just have to manage the next couple of weeks on the road and then reset for the stretch run. Now to 10 races to go to the chase following festivities here this afternoon. And what a familiar scene it is. Burnouts for Denny Hamlin after a victory at Pocono.
You mentioned managing the next 2 weeks. I think it's the opposite. I think they're just going to take a breath. They're going to recharge. And I mean, what is the ceiling for this team? It's unbelievable.
There you see the points. I said it. Reddick 19 in front of Hamlin. A month ago, we said it, Steve, no way. no way you can get there. What Reddick's doing, his consistency, the average finish, and all of that, and those 5 victories, you're like, man, everybody's racing for second. Denny Hamlin said not so fast.
In front of another sellout crowd here at Pocono, Denny Hamlin gets win number 8. Here, the tricky triangle. And 3rd in a row in 2026, something he has never done before. This one's special. 3 in a row, finally, right? You and I were talking about it this morning. Is it a little extra special to do it in front of the sellout crowd here at Pocono?
No doubt. First win here. Just so special here. I just, you know, Pocono has mastered the fan experience from the crowd in the stands to the infield here. Nick and his whole team has just done an amazing job. I got to say, awesome for the King's Hawaiian car. Finally, the King's Hawaiian curse is over. You know, they thought my head was getting a little big, so they made me wear this suit this week and to put me back to where I need to be. So I'm just so happy for this whole Joe Gibbs Racing team. This is a team effort. You know, giving me the fast cars. The pit crew is flawless right now. We're just got it all going.
You and I stood right here 2 years ago, and it was mostly booze. I kind of heard a mix today. Are they starting to turn and like this 45-year-old Denny Hamlin, these fans?
I mean, I say, thank you. Thank you. That really means a lot, seriously. Thank you so much for that. I mean, man, it's like a second home for me.
I want to ask you what Dale Jr. asked at the end of the race. Is this the most confident you've been in your 21 years in the Cup Series?
Well, I'd say it's certainly the best we've been. You know, we come to the racetrack every week knowing that we got a great shot to win, and the team's just doing an amazing job giving me exactly what I need in the car every single week. So that's why we're winning.
And when it comes to that regular season championship, you heard Chris Gale say, we're closing in. Denny immediately came on the radio, said, I only care about wins. He gets another one here, the 8th at Pocono, and 3rd in a row this year, Adam.